Part 228. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei-Shi Niang. Chapter 2272. After talking, Zhang Chen and the others stood up to say goodbye. Chen Hansheng and Xiao Hengde left them to eat. Zhang Chen and Tan Shahan both said they would not eat. There would be plenty of opportunities to eat in the future. They left Liu Bang, the founder of the Han dynasty, and he said he would not eat it. It was difficult to get to Jubeo, so I stopped by Xiaosha factory to take a look. When they arrived below, when Zhang Chen and the others were saying goodbye to Han Emperor Liu Bang, Zhang Chen said, "I'll have dinner at my place later and then go back to the mountains. I'll call Brother Tan over." Zhang Chen and the others all called Peach Blossom Spring to the mountains. Liu Bang, the emperor of the Han dynasty, agreed. "Knowing that you are very busy during this period, I don't dare to disturb you. It really has been a long time since we got together." They got in the car, and Liu Ligan was still driving. Zhang Chen wanted to sit in the passenger seat, but Tan Shahan said, "Sit with me in the back seat. I have something else to tell you." After getting in the car, Tan Shahan looked at her watch. It was already past 4 o'clock in the afternoon. She asked Zhang Chen if there were any private rooms at Huihuan's place. "What?" Zhang Chen asked. "It's work, please help me get a box," Tan Shahan said. Zhang Chen scolded, "Is this what you want to do with me? Capture my young man?" "Yes, can't you?" Tan Shahan smiled proudly, "Who was in my ear just now and told me to let me go? You have pushed me to the battlefield, so I don't want to hold you back." Liu Ligan laughed loudly in front of him. Zhang Chen shook his head helplessly and dialed out. Huihuan would leave 2 or 3 private rooms unbooked every day, just in case there were temporary calls from friends and relatives who needed to arrange a private room when it was almost time for dinner. After receiving a call from Zhang Chen, Huihuan made the reservation. After telling him the box number, Zhang Chen told Tan Shahan, and Tan Shahan started calling one by one. After the phone call, Tan Shahan and Zhang Chen said, "I need Lao Tan at night, and he wants to drink for me." Zhang Chen nodded and asked, "Have the arrangements been made?" "Okay," Tan Shahan said. Zhang Chen said with emotion, "After all, working in factories is the hardest. I just thought of myself. If I had just focused on working in factories, I would probably be as miserable as these 2 Taiwanese people." "Your factory doesn't make money?" Tan Shahan asked. "Making money is good, but it doesn't comply with the principle of proportion." Zhang Chen said, "How many people do I have in my factory? How much investment does it take every year? How much working capital is needed? How many people are there in my dynamic zone and Sky City? The factory earns not even half of theirs. Some factories are doing pretty well, and like these 2 Taiwanese, they can still maintain their business pretty well, but many more factories are simply struggling now." Zhang Chen sighed and added, "The money I earned from selling Zai Xian Shui could not be earned by working in a factory for 10 lifetimes. Food and drink is only a few years old. Xiao Fang and Lu Yun told me that the valuation was in the tens of billions. I felt dizzy after listening to it. It's not like you don't know that I worked in a factory for many years before I could earn 100 million. If I were asked to work in a factory now, I would not go there even if I was killed." "Okay," Tan Shahan sighed, and she said, "Our black-hearted real estate developers are almost done now. They don't limit the price when they get the land. They hope that we can speculate on the land as high as possible and build houses to sell. At that time, there were both price and purchase restrictions, so how much money could we make? Tell me, one price limit for the same location. Is this reasonable? Can companies, and real estates be the same? This is not to encourage everyone not to build good houses or invest more. No matter how good you build it, the highest price can only be sold at that price. It is the same as the shoddy building next door. Why should I bother? It's getting harder and harder to make money in this industry. Don't look at those guys who are coaxing you all day long. People in our industry don't know that they all owe a lot of debt. When will there be a thunderstorm? You can definitely see it. I have no other ideas now, and I don't care about sales and industry rankings. I don't care whether the annual or quarterly reports look good or not. The worst is that we will be delisted. I just want to keep my debt ratio under control and save my own life. Zhang Chen, do you know why I agreed to do this so quickly? How do I know? Why? Zhang Chen asked. Before going to Yongcheng, I just discussed it with Lao Tan and Ying Ying. Next, we will increase our holdings of self-owned properties and increase the income from rentals. The proportion of self-owned properties is high. If anything happens, when the wind blows, I have a lot of room to dodge and maneuver. Even we can't understand this industry anymore, and the danger must have come. This is right. Lu Ligan said something from the front and back. You may not believe it, Zhang Chen. The principle of proportionality you just mentioned, let me tell you, others may not be clear about it, but we know it clearly in our own hearts. The current actual profitability of my splendid China is not as good as Sister Gihua's the splendid service there, Tan Shahan said. What Tan Shahan said, Zhang Chenexin, people like Tan Shahan and others now invest too much in real estate. When you get the land, you need your own capital. After you get the land, you can't just sell the off-the-plan property and make a lump sum first like before. Money, now you need to obtain a pre-sale certificate before you can start selling. To apply for a pre-sale certificate, you must pay the land transfer fee in full and obtain the land certificate and construction permit. This is not enough. There are also requirements for the project. At first, the main building was required to have 3 floors, and later it was required to be half, and then the small one. The high-rise and high-rise buildings have reached 2/3, and now it is actually required that the project be capped and the project pass acceptance inspection. It is not enough to cap the project. Supporting infrastructure such as water supply, power supply, heating, gas, and communications must also meet the conditions for use. Other supporting infrastructure and public facilities must meet the conditions for delivery or have determined the progress and delivery date. All of these conditions must be met. Only if you have it can you get the pre-sale certificate. Although many real estate developers are skirting around and starting to sell houses before getting the pre-sale certificate through letters of intent, gold cards, earnest money, etc., Tan Shahan and others cannot do this. If they do this, once both parties, if a conflict occurs and someone takes the case to court, there is basically no chance of winning. The most important thing is that the company cannot afford the loss of goodwill. Sister Gihua's splendid service is engaged in property management of residential communities and office buildings. It includes their own projects of splendid China and projects of other companies. In the field of domestic property management, it has achieved one of the best scales. Jinxiu's service requires very little initial investment for each project. The team is formed after signing an agreement. The income comes from property fees and other aspects of property management, such as parking fees, rent, etc., although each project has a ceiling. The revenue and net profit will not be very high, but if there are many projects, the results will be considerable if they are brought together. In addition, it is almost not affected by the ups and downs of the housing market or even the general economic environment. As long as you buy a house, whether you live in it or not, whether you rent it or not, you will have to pay the property fee, which will not be a cent less. Its revenue is stable. The income and profits are very stable, and the performance in the stock market is also very stable. Splendid Services has always been a stock that everyone is optimistic about in the Hong Kong stock market, and its performance is comparable to that of Splendid China. Tan Shahan and Sister Gihua are too stable. His management style is particularly reassuring when the entire real estate market is in turmoil. The car drove to the downstairs of the half-acre field building. Lu Ligan put Zhang Chen down and sent Tan Shahan to the company. Zhang Chen returned to his office and sat there thinking blankly for a while. He stood up and wanted to get a pen and paper to draw the podcast town in his mind. He believed that Tan Shahan was capable of doing this job. The project can continue. As long as it continues, Tan Shahan will definitely let Zhang Chen draw what they imagine today. As soon as Zhang Chen walked to the cabinet, before opening the cabinet door, Lu Ligan walked in from the door. So fast, Zhang Chen asked. Send it to the door and come back, Lu Ligan said. Since Lu Ligan left Splendid China and came back from Ningyuan, he rarely went to Splendid China again. When he did, he always felt a little ashamed of Yingying and the other old people of Splendid China. In addition, from Tan Shahan, although she didn't say anything about the angle, Lu Ligan also felt that it would be better for him not to go. Tan Shahan is very strong. She is actually afraid that others will say that Lu Ligan is playing chess for her behind her back. When Lu Ligan came back from Ningyuan, Tan Shahan thought he would return to Splendid China. Tan Shahan even thought about it. If Lu Ligan, when she returns to Splendid China, she will withdraw from Splendid China and start a small real estate company, doing 1 or 2 projects every year. Later it was discovered that Lu Ligan really did not want to return to Splendid China, so Tan Shahan did not force it. Lu Ligan sat down on the sofa, and Zhang Chen walked over and sat down on the sofa. The two of them continued to chat, and they were still talking about the podcast town project. The more they talked, the more they felt that this project was worth doing. It was almost 6 o'clock when we chatted. Zhang Chen looked at his watch and asked Lu Ligan, "Aren't you going down yet?" In the car ahead, he listened to Tan Shahan's phone call and made an appointment at 6 o'clock. "Why are you chasing me?" Lu Ligan also looked at his watch and said, "It's already off work. Why should I go down here? I'll just eat here and wait for the emperor to come over." "No, I mean, you don't have to accompany Tan Shahan to deal with those people," Zhang Chen said with a smile. Lu Ligan glared at Zhang Chen and cursed, "Do you think Jinxiu is a mom and pop shop and you still need me for such a trivial matter? If she can't even handle this Tan Shahan, she can retire." Zhang Chen burst out laughing and said, "Behind every successful woman, there must be a badass man." Lu Ligan said, "The guy behind her is you." Lu Bang, the emperor of the Han dynasty, came in from outside. Zhang Chen quickly asked him to sit down and asked, "Brother, what do you want to eat? I can order." They were still used to eating in Zhang Chen's office. They ordered food and asked the waiter below to bring it to them. "Just ask Hui Huan to make arrangements for us," Lu Bang, the emperor of the Han dynasty, said. Zhang Chen said yes. He called Hui Huan and told her, "Me, Gangzi and brother Lu, please help us make arrangements." Hui Huan said yes. Zhang Chen put down the phone and Lu Bang, the founder of the Han dynasty, asked, "Where are the communist troops? Are they back in the mountains to be with their wives?" "Going on a mission," Lu Ligan said. Zhang Chen told Lu Bang, the emperor of the Han dynasty, that Tan Shahan was entertaining guests in the evening, and Lao Tan went with him. Lu Bang, the emperor of the Han dynasty, understood. The three of them were drinking and chatting. At about 8 o'clock in the evening, Tan Shahan and Lao Tan came in. Zhang Chen saw Tan Shahan's happy face and asked, "Nailed it?" Tan Shahan nodded, and she said to Han Emperor Lu Bang, "Brother Lu, please tell Mr. Chen and Mr. Xiao that if it is convenient, the three of us will sign a letter of intent tomorrow." Lu Bang, the emperor of the Han dynasty, smiled and said, "Okay, I'll call them right now. They called me earlier and asked me to help keep an eye on this matter. They were really worried. Zhang Chen, please help me draw it. I still have to do superficial things." Tan Shahan told Zhang Chen. Zhang Chen looked at her, and Tan Shahan smiled and said, "I'm just trying to get you to be a strong man. Why are we relatives?" Lao Tan and Lu Bang, the great ancestor of the Han dynasty, laughed. Thank you for the rewards of Brokeback Mountain, baby tin soldier, 3 o'clock in the middle of the night, 2 fishes one above the other, third from top to bottom, and reading the book every day. Thank you Lao Chantang, remember the original intention without seeing the future, don't let yourself get angry, you have to be a monster, the villain among the villains, Fang Kuei, Lemon Stone Spring Hodgepodge, Zonkai 727, Humor Tribe, forget the password and get a new monthly pass. I wish you all good health. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Shi Niang. Chapter 2273. There is a large curved balcony outside the living room. The balcony is covered with glass. It is a sunroom in winter and can block the sun in summer. During the decoration, the door from the living room to the balcony was removed, and the balcony and living room became a whole. It became a small indoor garden. The sofa on the balcony was bought by Ziyashu from Manchester, England. It is a 5-piece set, including a double sofa, 2 single sofas, a large rectangular coffee table, and a small square coffee table. This set of sofas arrived here and were dismantled. The double sofa and the large coffee table went to the living room. The 2 single sofas were placed facing each other on the balcony, with the small square coffee table in the middle. The sofa and coffee table are both made of oak, and their legs are in the shape of tiger legs. The armrests and backrests are engraved with Pella scroll patterns. The whole set of furniture looks very majestic and calm. It seems to be fixed wherever it is placed. Same. The leather surface of the sofa is made of dark brown genuine cowhide. Although the cowhide has been polished over time, it is still intact and there is no sign of aging at all. Gu Gong sat on the sofa. He was sitting well at first. After a while, his plump body was twisting around in the sofa and fidgeting. Zhang Xiangbei looked amused and said, "Don't be awkward, you can squat on it." Gu Gong chuckled and said, "I'm afraid I'll trample on your precious sofa." "It's okay. I guess its original owner was a 300-pound fat British guy who was even more powerful than you. He couldn't be trampled on," Zhang Xiangbei said. Gu Gong laughed. He really took off his shoes and squatted on the sofa. Then he let out a long breath and said, "It feels much more comfortable now." Zhang Xiangbei laughed and said, "I really admire you. You are capable of squeezing yourself into a ball of meat. It's unscientific. The fat on your body should be the same as that of the stall, the open, and the stacking these words next to each other. I've never seen a fat person like to squeeze in." Gu Gong's fat body was trembling with joy along with his whole body. He said, "I was so fat when I was studying. However, when we dug a hole, no one else dared to drill it. The first one got in. It must be me. The teachers who lead the team all say that I have bone shrinking skills. It should be the muscle shrinking skill, right?" Zhang Xiangbei said. "It's all okay, all is okay," Gu Gong said with a smile. "It's the same on the train. It was hard to buy train tickets at that time, so being able to buy a station ticket was already very good. When I got on the train, I snuck under the seat and slept. Every time I get out from under the seat, I always scare the people around me. They probably didn't expect that such a fat man would come out from under the seat. It's so scary." Zhang Xiangbei couldn't help laughing when he thought of that scene. Taguchi Mikiya and Mr. Zhang stayed in Yongcheng for 4 days and watched many group performances. Zhang Xiangbei sent them back to Hangzhou. They spent another day playing in Hangzhou with them yesterday and just sent them to the airport at noon today. Zhang Xiangbei originally wanted to go back to Yongcheng in the afternoon, but Gu Gong called him and said he wanted to have tea with him, so Zhang Xiangbei asked him to come directly to his home. "What do you plan next?" the consultant asked. Zhang Xiangbei said, "I will stay in Yongcheng for 2 more days, and then I will go to Hainan. The first step is to find good small yellow cattle breeds and black buffalo breeds in Ding'an and Kyaingshong, and order them first, and then search all over the country and introduce all the cattle with better meat quality from all over the country to Hainan. You must first raise all kinds of cattle before you have a good idea of them. The tasks I have set for myself this year are to build the pasture, and then introduce all the excellent domestic cattle breeds. In addition, I plan to hire the personnel of the research institute and set up the entire company first. Starting next year, we will go to various parts of the world to find bulls of excellent breeds, introduce them to the country, and officially start experiments on breed improvement. Take me with you. Gu Gong nodded and said. What? Zhang Xiangbei thought he didn't hear clearly and asked. I mean, take me with you and I'll go to Hainan with you. Gu Gong raised his voice. Can you ask for leave here? Zhang Xiangbei asked. Ask for leave? What kind of leave? Gu Gong was confused, and then he immediately understood and said with a smile, okay, I didn't express myself well. I mean, I will go to Hainan to work with you. Do you understand now? Zhang Xiangbei was startled and said, are you crazy? What do you mean? Gu Gong asked, is it crazy to do it with you? It's not like I haven't done it with you before. Am I already crazy? You are digging out treasures now. You are not doing a good job. I heard that even Lao Ma admires you and likes to eat the pickles you make. He said they are a must-have for business trips. Besides, you are digging out treasures now. His income is also very good, it should be more than 1 million a year. I also heard. When Zhang Xiangbei was talking, Gu Gong kept shaking his head. Zhang Xiangbei asked, why are you shaking your head? Are you using yourself as an electric fan? It's not interesting. There is a stale smell in such a big company. They think they are very new. In fact, everyone talks and acts in the same tone. I don't want to stay. If I could accept the staleness, I would have done it back then. I just stayed in school. Although the systems in these two places are different, the people are actually the same and both have a stale atmosphere, Gu Gong said. Zhang Xiangbei said with a smile, they are an internet company, and I am a cattle farmer. The real smell is here. Besides, I am still in the startup stage, so I can't give them the treatment they can. It doesn't matter, Gu Gong said, really, when I came to Zaixian delivery, I had financial needs at that time, so I would make demands from you. Now that I have no needs, the salary doesn't matter. Even if you give me 1,000 yuan a month, it's fine. Zhang Xiangbei was stunned for a moment and asked, what happened? Gu Gong laughed and said, I have been a high-income earner for several years. In addition to the money you gave us when you left, I have paid off all the mortgages and left 1 million yuan for my son. As for the money for college, if he can't get into college even with 1 million, it's useless. There is no need for money. My wife's salary is enough for the two of them to live normally. I don't have financial pressure now, so I have no needs, so I said, salary doesn't matter. It's not just a polite comment, it really doesn't matter. Mr. Zhang, you are right. In China, you can pay more than what you pay. There are not many companies with high wages in Baobao. If I cared about this, I wouldn't want to leave Baobao. I really want to work with you and am interested in what you are talking about. Zhang Xiangbei looked at Gu Gong and knew that he was not joking. If Gu Gong could go to Hainan, it would be a dream for him, but he has a family after all. Zhang Xiangbei asked, have you discussed this matter with your wife? As I said, she knows what I need. Gu Gong said, your father and I have told you, Mr. Zhang, if you don't accept me, I will go to the food and drink. Zhang Xiangbei laughed loudly and asked, you threaten me with this? No, no, I just can't figure it out. Why did Lao Ma offend you? Do you have to leave Dabao? No, he didn't offend me, but the smell is wrong. Gu Gong said with a smile, I think you and your father and I have similar odors. If you don't keep me here, I will really go to your dad's place. He also invites me a lot. No, but after thinking about it, You need me more here than your father. Oh, Zhang Xiangbei became interested. He sat up straight and said, come on, melon seller Lao Wan, brag about yourself, why do I need you? Think about it, are you better at breed improvement or am I? The consultant asked. Zhang Xiangbei thought for a while and said, it seems that you are a little better than me. Also, it's not enough to just be able to raise cattle. You also need to develop a cooking method suitable for your own type of cattle. The reason why Japanese Wagyu beef is famous is related to their Japanese-style teppanyaki and sukiyaki. Are you good at this? Am I good at it? Asked the consultant. You, Zhang Xiangbei said. Also, I told you that good steaks must be matured, especially dry-aged. Dry-aged is the same principle as making ham. The most important thing is based on the changes in the meat. Master the temperature and humidity of the aging room. Tell me, are you better at this or am I? It's still you, Zhang Xiangbei said. Gu Gong clapped his hands and said, see, are these 3 reasons enough? Tell me, how can you do it if you don't have me? No, Zhang Xiangbei said, I really need you there, Gu Gong. To be honest, when I wanted to raise cattle, I thought of you and felt that I needed you very much. I also thought of one thing, that's why I not only know how to raise cattle, but also how to cook beef. That's why I had the idea of opening a beef restaurant at the same time. It's not just me, I can say that no one can compare with you. Haha, that can't happen. Both the buyer and seller are present, so we can't close the deal quickly, Gu Gong said with a smile. I need you and have thought about poaching you, but Gu Gong, I dare not make this request. After all, the ranch is in Hainan, not Hangzhou, Zhang Xiangbei said. What's wrong with Hainan? Are you worried about my family? I told you there's no problem. Hainan is far away, but it's not the end of the world, and it's very convenient to travel to. My wife has long been used to me not being at home often, Gu Gong said. Zhang Xiangbei stared at Gu Gong and asked, Gu Gong, are you really willing to go to Hainan to help me? Of course, otherwise why would I come to you? Okay, then you have to do one thing. What's the matter? Asked the consultant. You call your wife now. I want to talk to her on the phone to confirm that she really supports you going to Hainan. Gu Gong laughed loudly and said, okay, I will hit him right away. Gu Gong picked up his mobile phone and dialed the number. After the call was connected, Gu Gong said to the other end of the phone. Honey, come on, Mr. Zhang wants to talk to you, you talk to him. After Gu Gong finished speaking, he handed his mobile phone to Zhang Xiangbei. Thank you to the villain among villains for the tip. Thank you for your monthly vote for not seeing a future but only remembering your original intention. Thanks for all the votes and reading. Have a good evening, everyone. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Shi Niang. Chapter 2274. After the performance, Xiang Nan was taking off his makeup backstage. Ding Yusong came in and asked, where is Zhang Xiangbei? Xiang Nan rolled her eyes at him and said, you know why you're asking. Ding Yusong chuckled and said to Xiang Nan, tell Yin Tao to hurry up and get the spicy duck feed. Okay. Ding Yusong immediately turned to the other end of the dressing room, and Xiang Nan's hand speed also increased. At this time, Zhang Xiangbei must be sleeping in the underground parking lot of Yongcheng Center, with the windows open. The weather outside is very hot, but fortunately the temperature in the underground parking lot is not high. It turns out that Zhang Xiangbei is waiting for Xiangnan there. At that time, he was sleeping with the air conditioner on, but Xiangnan gave him a scolding and told him that sleeping in the car with the air conditioner on was dangerous, so he slept with the window open. Zhang Xiangbei is going to Hainan tomorrow, and he doesn't know when he will be able to come back. When Xiongnan asked him what he wanted for midnight snack, he said spicy duck feet without even thinking about it. After eating the spicy duck feet, Xiongnan and Zhang Xiangbei wanted to drive to Hangzhou. Xiongnan would continue to perform tomorrow. Zhang Xiangbei told Xiongnan not to go, but Xiongnan insisted on going. She said it was okay, and I would finish the delivery tomorrow. You can catch a ride back later. During the Yongcheng International Street Theater Festival, the organizing committee has several vehicles running back and forth between Yongcheng and Hangcheng every day to pick up and drop off guests. If I don't go, who will drive for you? Xiang Nan asked. Myself, Zhang Xiangbei said. You can still drink while driving? Wouldn't you be satisfied if you eat spicy duck feet instead of cold beer? When Xiang Nan asked again, Zhang Xiangbei laughed and said, if you don't want to let go, just say you can't let go. There are so many excuses. Go, 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 who can't let go of whom? Xiang Nan cursed. After scolding, he laughed, okay, okay, I'll let you go, even if I can't let you go. When the drama festival here is over, we still have half a I will accompany you again during the month's leave. Zhang Xiangbei said yes. The three people went downstairs and found Zhang Xiangbei's car. Zhang Xiangbei was not sleeping, but was tweeting with the air conditioner on. The three of them got on the car, and Ding Yusong called out, Zhang Xiangbei, when the holiday comes, I will go to Hainan to see you. Don't come, Zhang Xiangbei said, unless you are traveling with Yin Tao to get married. TCH, what kind of world is this? A livestock farmer can be so arrogant, Yin Tao snorted, is there something wrong with you? Who gets married while traveling and would watch a bunch of cows shitting? The people in the car laughed and said to Nan, me, we went to Hainan for a wedding trip. He either took me to see someone piercing his cheek with steel, or he took me to see a cattle farm. Ding Yusong and Yin Tao couldn't stop laughing. Yin Tao said, it's over. You've boarded a pirate ship. Zhang Xiangbei chuckled, who said that I would take you to Yinghai. Yinghai, listen to the name, it is like a fairyland on earth. Yin Tao, I will take you there next time. Yin Tao said yes, Xiongnan, is that place really beautiful? That place can kill you, Xiang Nan said, when you stand in Yinghai, the wind blows over you, and you feel like you are slowly turning into a piece of bacon, don't you feel good? Zhang Xiangbei and the others took a flight at 10:40 in the morning. At 9 o'clock, the two of them set off from home. It was very close from splendid Qianzhong to Xiaoshan Airport. It only took 35 minutes for them to arrive. I was queuing up at the check-in counter when I saw Mr. Gu dragging his suitcase over. Zhang Xiangbei asked, who sent you here? My wife. Zhang Xiangbei and Xiongnan both looked around. Gu Gong said, don't look at it. She put me down at the door and went back. We, an old couple, will not see each other off like you do. Zhang Xiangbei laughed, Xiongnan blushed, and she muttered, we are also an old couple. It's true, if we go back to the history of us sleeping in the same bed, it was 20 years ago. Zhang Xiangbei said, and Xiongnan kicked him. This time it was Gu Gong's turn to laugh. Xiang Nan walked out of the team and gave up his seat to Gu Gong. The two people finished the check-in formalities and were about to leave. I'm going, Zhang Xiangbei shouted. Xiongnan and Gu Gong turned around and were stunned. They saw Sun Xiangyang and Zhou Ruyi standing not far away and looking towards them, laughing at them. The three people walked over and asked Xiang Nan, why are you here? Zhang Xiangbei said, not bad, you are so sensible and you know how to see me off. No, we're here to take a flight to Zhou Ruyi shook the two boarding passes in her hand and told them. Where are you going? Xiang Nan asked. Hainan, Zhou Ruyi said. You are also going to Hainan? Why are you going? Zhang Xiangbei asked curiously. Go hang out with you, Sun Xiangyang chuckled. Zhang Xiangbei and Xiongnan were shocked. Xiongnan snatched the boarding pass from Zhou Ruyi's hand. Seeing that these two people were really going to Hiken, Xiongnan said, "You are really going to Hiken? Go for what? Didn't Fatty say he was going to hang out with Zhang Xiangbei?" Zhou Ruyi said, "What, Zhang Xiangbei, do you still dislike us? Humph, you dare to dislike us?" "No, no." Zhang Xiangbei was a little confused. "What about your work here?" "Resign, we are going to raise cattle, not sell vegetables, and we have not violated the prohibition agreement," Zhou Ruyi said. "Nonsense," Zhang Xiangbei said. "Who is fooling around, Zhang Xiangbei? Didn't you say that we have earned all the money in our lifetime?" "Yes, you are right. Let's calculate that we will probably not be short of money in our lifetime. Since if we don't lack money, why don't we do what we want to do, but throw ourselves among a bunch of people who are plotting against each other and let ourselves grow green? Is it okay?" Zhou Ruyi said that Gu Gong was laughing on the side. Zhang Xiangbei looked at him, and Gu Gong said, "It's none of my business, this is their independent choice, but they have company." Zhang Xiangbei looked at their boarding passes. They were on the same flight as his. He asked the consultant, "Then what's going on with this flight?" Zhou Ruyi, "No, I really don't do Gu Gong's business. Gu Gong was just in the group and told what time his flight would be to Hainan today." Zhang Xiangbei, "Don't be a special mother-in-law. It's best if you agree to this matter. If you don't agree." "What if you don't agree?" Zhang Xiangbei asked with a smile. "We will buy a pasture next to you, and we will also raise cattle," Zhou Ruyi said, and both Xiangnan and Gu Gong laughed. Zhang Xiangbei didn't know whether to laugh or cry. He asked son Xiangyang, "Fat man, if you leave, what will your father do?" "Old son is very good. We bought him a new house and he is still his groom," son Xiangyang said. "What about you? Where is your family?" Zhang Xiangbei asked Zhou Ruyi, "Do they agree with you leaving Dobao?" "They even agreed that I left the museum and gave up my career, let alone leaving the treasure house," Zhou Ruyi said. "My father said that he would retire in 3 years. After retirement, he and my mother will travel across the country. I have agreed to reimburse all their expenses for traveling abroad. By the way, boss, have you also reimbursed us for our air tickets?" "I can only offer you economy class," Zhang Xiangbei said. "The company has not made a penny yet." Okay, we originally bought the economy class," Zhou Ruyi said and made a face towards the south. Everyone walked to the security checkpoint together. Zhou Ruyi asked Xiongnan, "We are here, can you rest assured?" Xiangnan nodded and said yes. After recruiting Bao Tianbin, I felt relieved. Knowing that Gu Gong was also going, I felt more relieved. Now, you will also be there, and I feel even more relieved. Don't worry, I will raise Zhang Xiangbei to be as fat as a fat man. No, Xiangnan shouted, there are only a few fat people in Hainan. We don't want all the fat people to be in your company. She said and looked at Sun Xiangyang and Gu Gong, both of whom laughed. Zhou Ruyi hugged Xiangnan, and then said to Sun Xiangyang and Gu Gong, let's go in first and give them time to show their affection. Xiangnan glared at her, Zhou Ruyi laughed playfully, and pulled the two fat men Sun Xiangyang and Gu Gong away. Zhang Xiangbei and Xiongnan stood outside the security checkpoint. Xiongnan explained to Zhang Xiangbei. Zhang Xiangbei kept nodding and said he understood. The two hugged and after letting go, Xiongnan said, go in quickly, otherwise Zhou Ruyi will laugh at you again. Zhang Xiangbei passed the security check, and the three people were waiting for him not far away. Seeing Zhang Xiangbei coming, Zhou Ruyi tilted her head left and right and looked at him. Zhang Xiangbei asked, what are you looking at? Let's see if you're crying, Zhou Ruyi said. Zhang Xiangbei laughed and scolded, what's there to cry about? Where's Xiongnan? Did Xiongnan cry? Zhou Ruyi asked, and Zhang Xiangbei shook his head. Tch, it's not touching at all, Zhou Ruyi said. Zhang Xiangbei laughed, I'll leave it to you and Fatty to be emotional. They found boarding gate number 16. As soon as they sat down, Zhou Ruyi stood up, waved in the distance, and shouted, "Xiang Yun, here, here." Zhang Xiangbei looked up and saw Xiang Yun walking hurriedly towards them. He was still panting when he got close and said, "What a coincidence, you are also going to Hainan." "Yes, what about you?" Zhou Ruyi asked. "Go to Hainan." "I'm going to Hainan to apply for a job," Xiang Yun said. Zhang Xiangbei was confused and asked, "Are you no longer in Zaixianshu?" "Yes, I came here yesterday to complete the formalities with Wu Huan, and I will go to Hainan to apply for a job today," Xiang Yun said. "Which unit?" Zhang Xiangbei asked. "Hainan North and South Agricultural Development Co., Limited, boss, are you familiar with it?" Xiang Yun asked Zhang Xiangbei. Sun Xiangyang and Zhou Ruyi couldn't hold it in any longer and laughed, and Gu Gong also laughed. Zhang Xiangbei looked at Gu Gong, who said, "I really don't know this." I know the boss of that company, and I promised to introduce her to Evian," Zhou Ruyi said. "Get out," Zhang Xiangbei cursed, and everyone burst into laughter. Then they saw Ding Mianli walking towards the side. This time, even Zhou Ruyi, Sun Xiangyang, and Xiang Yun were surprised. Zhou Ruyi and Xiang Yun asked almost in unison, "How did you come?" "What, you can do it, but I can't," Ding Mianli asked, and he said to Zhang Xiangbei, "Mr. Zhang, with a monthly salary of 0, I want to work with you. I can do anything." No, Ding Mianli, damn you, why didn't I see you talking in the group?" Zhou Ruyi said. "If you didn't say anything, why can't I just watch?" Ding managed to smile. "Have you gone through the formalities with Wu Huan?" Xiang Yun asked. "No," Ding Mianli said, "I didn't find Wu Huan, so I sent a text message to the HR at Dabao and told her that I quit. They played tricks on me once, so I can't ditch them once." Yes, that's great," Sun Xiangyang shouted. "Okay, a cloud-penetrating arrow brings thousands of troops to meet each other. Not bad, Mr. Zhang, this company has just started, does it have strong troops?" Gu Gong said with a cheerful smile. "Thank you Brokeback Mountain for the reward of 2 fishes. Thank you for your monthly votes from Hu, On the Road to a Nation, On the Road 2006, De Ji Lao, Hu Sansi, and Book Friends 2020031632014442. Thanks for all the votes and reading. I wish you all good health. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Shi Niang. Chapter 2275. Zhang Xiangbei only stayed at home for a few days before going to Hainan. The most regrettable thing was Zhang Xiangzi and Lu Wenqian. Lu Wenqian had just experienced the fun of riding on the shoulders of adults, but Zhang Xiangbei disappeared. When he saw Lu Wenqian again, she wanted to ride on Lu Ligan's shoulders. Of course Lu Ligan agreed to her, squatted down and let Lu Wenqian climb on his shoulders. Zhang Xiangzi saw Lu Wenqian riding on her father's shoulders. She also wanted to ride on her father's shoulders, so Zhang Chen let her ride. So, every evening, after dinner, Lu Ligan and Zhang Chen would carry their daughters on their backs and chat and stroll by the Meisi River. What makes them feel unsatisfied is that they can't smoke with their daughter on their shoulders. Zhang Chen and Lu Ligan said, "Don't keep your mouth shut. Tell Tan Shahen about this. If she finds out, she will encourage Lu Wenqian to ride on your shoulders every day." Lu Ligan laughed and said, "Do you think your Xiaofang can't?" Zhang Chen's Diet Man and Woman is currently doing an H round of financing. After completing the H round, he is preparing to go public in the United States. Logically speaking, he should be very busy at this time. But because Lu Yun and Xiaofang were there, they were busy with all the things they should be busy with. Zhang Chen couldn't get involved, and he had no interest in getting involved. He only needed to sign where he should on the document Xiaofang brought back. Just sign. The expansion of food and drink across the country has already begun in the most suitable cities. Coastal provinces are now spreading to the county level. The pace of the entire expansion has slowed down. Xiaoli has now matured and can take charge of her own business. Zhang Chen can let her do it. As a result, Zhang Chen had more time than before. Tan Shahen has been busy with podcasting town affairs during this period. After the project is approved, it will have to go through the process step by step and apply for approval step by step. If the 32 acres of industrial land are to be changed into commercial land, formalities will also need to be followed. Conduct a conditional auction, and pay the land transfer fee. Chen Hansheng and Xiao Hengde, who had always been working in factories, knew nothing about these. They didn't even know where to open the door to the relevant department, let alone who they needed to go to. All of this, of course, was done by Tan Shahen and her splendid China manage. While the relevant procedures are still being processed here, the reconstruction of the original industrial factory there is already underway. This kind of project is supposed to be completed one day earlier so that one day more rent can be collected. Every second counts. At the same time, Tan Shahen asked Ying Ying to start a thorough investigation of all the live broadcasters in the city. The result shocked her. Not to mention 2 or 3 years later, there were already 80,000 live broadcasters in Hangzhou. There are many people, and some are very secretive. They have no way of counting them. The actual number should have exceeded 100,000. These people were originally scattered in various residential areas in Hangzhou, and some of the most powerful ones were entrenched around the Binjiang-Doubao.com office building, causing the rental prices of both office buildings and residential buildings in that area to skyrocket. When many people knew that they were going to build such a podcast town in Jubao, where the space could be freely divided according to their own needs, many people made reservations with Yingying and the others. Zhang Chen is right. Those who do live broadcasts are most afraid of network lags and disconnect ions. However, the optical cables in the community now claim to be 15 bit/s, 100 bit/s, or 200 bit/s, but they still cause lag. You have no objection. Wi-Fi, if it is unstable, you can only use traffic, but even using traffic cannot guarantee you 100% stability. If there was such a dedicated live broadcast base, not only would the rent be cheaper than office buildings in the city, but the network would be very stable without the need to install additional optical cables. How could everyone not be attracted to it? The construction of this podcast town was completed, and despite all the budget, it could only meet the needs of 2,000 to 3,000 live broadcast users, which was far from meeting the market demand. Tan Shahen and the others decided to expand a new one next to Jubao Podcast Town. At the same time, 2 live broadcast bases were established in the west of the city and in Binjiang, thus achieving full coverage of the entire Hangzhou. Next, they will develop this live broadcast base to other cities with a large number of live broadcast practitioners. Lu Ligan's Renjia tourism is now becoming more and more famous. After becoming famous, his role slowly began to change. From the original, he had to find connections to acquire land in a certain place. Everyone wants to invite Renjia tourism to settle in. Just like the presence of KFC and Starbucks in the early years marked the development level of a city, now, with the presence of Renjia tourism, this place has become a sign of being recognized by high-end tourists, who invited Lu Ligan. There were suddenly more places for them. After the company gets bigger, Xiaomi and others are busy. Lu Ligan no longer needs to do everything by himself. Sometimes the boss does everything by himself, which will disrupt the company's governance structure. The bigger the company, the boss's role in the company will be smaller. The more it looks like a tablet in a shrine, the stronger the spiritual and symbolic meaning, and the weaker the practical meaning. Lu Ligan also feels that he has more and more free time. Carrying their daughter for a walk by the Meisi River every day has now become a very important part of Zhang Chen and Lu Ligan's daily routine. The two of them have less time to eat in the office. Once they get off work, they go home to eat. Why do you feel like we have retired? Zhang Chen said to Lu Ligan with a smile. The law of nature means that you can't retire even if you don't want to. Now when you go to other people's workplaces, the directors, division directors, and bank presidents are all in their 40s. There is already a generation gap with us. Everyone you know has already called you uncle. Let's go. On the street, young men you don't know call you uncle, but you still don't want to retire, Lu Ligan said. Zhang Chen thought about it and realized that he really meant this. He said, no, Tan Shuhen and Lu Yun are not the same age as us. Why are they so busy? Can this be the same? When people put on makeup, they look like they are in their 30s. No matter how you put on makeup, you will look like an old monster at most. You can't hide a man's age. Zhang Chen, or we are like many celebrities. Are you going to take sheep placenta extract and get hyaluronic acid? Lu Ligan said, plastic surgery is also possible, do you want to go? Get lost, Zhang Chen cursed, that's the real old monster. Lu Wenqin and Zhang Xiangzi on their shoulders couldn't understand what they were talking about, but they just thought it was fun and they giggled. They walked along the Meisi River to the opposite side of the Riverside Oil Painting Gallery. The two of them crossed the bridge and walked to the Riverside Oil Painting Gallery. The Riverside Oil Painting Gallery was still open at night, and the public market in the square outside was open at night. It was very lively at that time. Neither Zhang Xiangzi nor Lu Wenqin were interested in art museums, but in public markets. Zhang Chen and Lu Ligan put Lu Wenqin and Zhang Xiangzi off their shoulders. Lu Ligan took them to the public market. Zhang Chen was going to Zhao Xian's office. In the afternoon, Zhao Xian called Zhang Chen and said she wanted to discuss with him about participating in the autumn auction this year. Zhang Chen made an appointment with her and said she would go there in the evening. Zhang Chen walked into Zhao Xian's office. The conference table in Zhao Xian's office was already filled with color printouts. The original works of these works were all in the warehouse below them, preparing to participate in this autumn's event. Auction. Now, sending works to participate in the spring and autumn auctions every year has become the biggest source of income for their Riverside Oil Painting Gallery. Another big source of income is selling reproductions of their collections of works to domestic and foreign publishing organizations and media. And printing authorization. The Riverside Oil Painting Gallery sponsors outstanding students from the Academy of Fine Arts and outstanding oil painters in society every year. The sponsorship program has been implemented without interruption. In turn, these students and artists have also provided them with a steady stream of works. After Xiaoshu arrived at the Oil Painting Museum, their Oil Painting Museum had more extensive contacts with the outside world, the domestic and foreign oil painting circles, and major art schools. Xiaoshu would make suggestions to Zhao Xian. Every year, they would acquire a large number of students and students they thought were promising. The works of the authors, including those of capable but not yet famous painters, allowed them to continue their creative work. The prices of these works purchased by Riverside Oil Painting Gallery were relatively cheap, but when they provided these works to major auction companies, the prices had doubled several times. First, Xiaoshu's recommendation itself was already convincing, coupled with the endorsement of the Riverside Oil Painting Gallery, the price naturally went up. Another situation is that when they acquired the works of these people, they were not very famous, but after a few years, some of them became more famous and the prices went up. At this time, they will also sell some of these painters' works. Because their oil painting museum had a large collection of each painter's works at that time, and there was no need to keep so many, so they used them in exchange for more funds. After having funds, they are also clients of major auctions and will take photos of some works that they think are very rare. All the major domestic auction companies like to deal with the Riverside Oil Painting Gallery because the sources of the lots they provide are very reliable, and when they want to participate in the auction of a certain work, once they think that the work or the painter is worth it, they will not hesitate to spend a lot of money, because their participation will soon increase the price of a painter's work. What Zhao Xian placed on the conference table were the lots that she and Xiaoshu had selected and prepared to provide to major auction companies. Zhang Chen needed to come and take a look. If there were works that Zhang Chen liked very much, they could keep them. When Zhang Chen asked Zhao Xian to show these works to him, he should hide the names of all the authors, so that he could not be interfered by other factors and make judgments based on his own intuition. Zhang Chen walked around the conference table and looked at each one carefully. After reading it, he sat on the sofa for a while. Zhao Xian knew the boss's habits and did not bother him. She knew that Zhang Chen must be going through it in his head at this time. Among the works he had just seen, he was recalling which ones impressed him deeply. After a while, Zhang Chen stood up and walked to the conference table to take a look. He reached out and picked out 3 works and gave them to Zhao Xian. Zhao Xian immediately called to take someone to the warehouse below to bring these 3 works. After picking up a piece of work and looking at the pictures, it is best to look at the original work again. There are still differences between the pictures and the original work. Zhang Chen waved his hand and said, "No, Zhao Xian, I'll go down with you, just watch from below." Zhao Xian said, "Yes, boss. Thank you for the monthly votes of passing water, and, how, no future, just remember the original intention." Mike and book friends 2020731205303948. Thanks for all the votes and reading. Have a good evening everyone. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Shi Niang. Chapter 2276. Zhang Chen and Zhao Xian arrived at the warehouse on the first floor. The batch of works had been gathered and put aside. Zhao Xian took out the 3 paintings. After Zhang Chen looked at them one by one, he kept one and the other looking at the 2 paintings. Zhang Chen shook his head and sighed, saying, "It's a pity that you used too much force." Zhang Chen and Zhao Xian said that the authors of these 2 paintings seemed to have too much to say and express. This is true, but they must be restrained and learn to control themselves. They cannot express everything. Everything falls into one painting. How is it possible? It's like a person who keeps talking for fear that others don't know what he wants to say. As a result, he uses too much force. Not only do others not feel that you express it more clearly, but they feel bored and think that you are too wordy. I don't want to hear anything else. When trying to pile up too many things into a painting, blurring one's face is equivalent to drowning oneself with one's own saliva. Zhang Chen felt that the remaining painting was exactly the opposite of the other 2. The brushwork was still a bit immature, and many things he wanted to express could not be expressed, leaving a lot of space. Zhang Chen and Zhao Xian said that this space, that's where he can improve. Let's take a gamble. In 5 years, he may become very powerful, or he may not make progress, and that's it. Zhang Chen decided to keep this painting. The 2 people left the warehouse, and Zhang Chen was about to leave the oil painting gallery. Zhao Xian and Zhang Chen asked, "Do you want to see Yao Fen's paintings? I think Yao Fen is very good now." "Yao Fen? She is still painting, why didn't I hear about it?" Zhang Chen asked. "She is too embarrassed to tell you," my brother-in-law Zhao Xian said with a smile. "Actually, she has been painting. She used to paint at home. This time, the size of this painting is relatively large and cannot be placed at home. She just came here. In the small I just saw it when I was painting in Shu's studio, and I think it has changed a lot." Zhang Chen became interested as soon as he heard it. He said, "Let's go and have a look." The 2 people walked to the 2nd floor and went to Xiaoshu's studio. Xiaoshu was painting in the studio. His studio was open and there was a "Please don't make noise" poster inside. There were 3 people in there 17 or 18 years old. It must be a child studying art who is watching him paint and whispering softly. Xiaoshu is immersed in his own creation and has no reaction to the world outside the canvas. Zhang Chen and Zhao Xian walked in without saying hello to Xiaoshu. Zhao Xian pointed to the other side of the studio, and Zhang Chen was stunned when he saw it. The two people approached, and Zhao Xian and Zhang Chen said that this was what Yao Fen had painted. Zhang Chen nodded. He felt that Zhao Xian was right. Yao Fen was indeed very powerful now. The whole picture is shrouded in mist, and Miro's blue gold is emerging from the mist. Part of it has been clearly revealed, and most of it is still under the looming mist. Between the mist and the original painting, an interesting relationship. What surprised Zhang Chen the most was the part that was clearly revealed. This part is a detailed imitation of Miro's original paintings. Miro's paintings look very simple. People who don't know them think they are easy to draw, but those who have actually copied Miro's paintings will know that Miro's paintings are actually very difficult to copy. The kind of delicate brushwork that resembles a woman cannot be painted by ordinary people. Most people will make the painting stiff when they copy Miro. This painting by Yao Fen not only copied the original part of Miro's painting with superb skills, but also the mist part is even more difficult to deal with. Blue gold becomes colder and cooler under the mist. Of mystery. Zhao Xian and Zhang Chen said, "Aren't you awesome?" Zhang Chen nodded. Yao Fen painted a series, the greeting series, Zhao Xian said. Really? Zhang Chen asked. Zhao Xian nodded. She walked away, walked to Xiaoshu, patted his shoulder, and gestured towards Zhang Chen. Xiaoshu saw Zhang Chen, he put down the pen in his hand and walked over. "Where's Yao Fen?" Zhang Chen asked. "I took Dong Dong to watch a movie," Xiaoshu said. "It's amazing. Why haven't I heard you talk about it?" Zhang Chen pointed at the painting and added, "Have you been painting here for a long time?" "More than half a month," Zhao Xian said. "It's my fault too. I haven't been here for a long time, otherwise I should have seen it a long time ago." Zhang Chen asked Xiaoshu, "I heard that Zhao Xian painted a series." Xiaoshu said yes. He walked away, walked to a table, opened the drawer, took out his mobile phone from it, walked back, opened the mobile phone album, and showed Zhang Chen the photos in it. Zhang Chen saw the series of works, including Monet's impression of sunrise conceived in the morning glow, Matisse's Dancing Man conceived in a dense rain, Corot's Monty Square Dance Memories was bred in the falling snow. Zhang Chen looked at each picture with great joy. He asked Xiaoshu, "Yao Fen has painted so many, do you plan to never tell me?" Xiaoshu chuckled and said, "Yao Fen said she just painted for fun. Aren't you always busy? Last year you were busy with the food and drink thing, and this year you are busy with Baibai." In fact, there is a reason why Yao Fen did not show it to Zhang Chen that even Xiaoshu didn't know. That is, when copying these works, Yao Fen would often feel proud of his copying, but he would also often think of himself. That time she forged a collection of paintings. It should be said that the forgery looked very similar, but Zhang Chen saw through it at a glance. She was a little shy and timid in front of Zhang Chen. "This is no longer just for fun. I can draw as well as you," Zhang Chen said. "Are these paintings at home?" "What has been completed will be placed in Deking," Xiaoshu said. Xiaoshu has a studio in Deking. The studio is very large, with an area of more than 1,000 square meters. It was originally a factory. After Xiaoshu bought it, it was converted into a studio. Xiaoshu paints those huge paintings. It is even connected to the studio of Riverside Oil Painting Gallery. If I can't put it down, I will put it over there to paint. The works I have painted are also collected in the studio over there. Can you take me to see it? I want to see it now." Zhang Chen couldn't wait and said to Xiaoshu. Xiaoshu said, "Okay, I'll clean it up." "Boss, I'll go with you," Zhao Xian said, and Zhang Chen agreed. Xiaoshu walked back to his painting, cleaned the brush, wrapped it in a wet towel, and then used a scraper to clean off the unused oil paint on the palette. Zhang Chen called Lu Ligan. When the call was connected, Noisy voices came from inside. They were obviously still in the public market. Zhang Chen listened to Lu Wenqin and Zhang Xiangzi talking in a high-pitched voice. Lu Ligan said, "Hey, hello. Reading. I'm going to visit Xiaoshu's studio in Deking. You can help me bring Zhang Xiangzi home," Zhang Chen said to Lu Ligan, and Lu Ligan said he understood. Xiaoshu's studio is at the foot of Mogan Mountain. When Xiaoshu was away, there was an old man guarding the place for him. They drove for more than an hour and arrived at Xiaoshu's studio. It turned out that there were no factory walls or iron gates. Changes, outsiders looked over and thought it was a closed factory. The yard was dark except for a light on the door of the reception room at the entrance. There was a deck chair under the light. The old man was lying on the deck chair. There was a radio next to it. There were two announcers, a man and a woman, talking. Gag. When the old man saw a car approaching, he stood up. He walked to the iron gate, squinted his eyes and looked outside, and put the palm of one hand on his forehead. Xiaoshu changed the high beam to low beam. The old man saw clearly that it was Xiaoshu's car, took off the key hanging from his waist, and opened the iron door. Xiaoshu raised his hand and said hello to the old man through the glass. He drove in and the old man closed the door again and locked it. Xiaoshu drove the car to the door of the studio and stopped. The three of them got out of the car. The door of the studio was locked with a code. When Zhang Chen came here before, Xiaoshu told him that he often came here and couldn't find the key. Simply change to a combination lock and no need to bring a key. The outside of the studio still retains the style of the original factory workshop without any changes, but the inside is quite different. More than 1,000 square meters are divided into two, with 1/3 used as a warehouse and 2/3 used as a studio. All the original windows in the factory workshop have been sealed, and all lighting comes from the lamp at night and from the roof during the day. This part of the studio has a 1.5 meter high roof with tiles on the top and long strips of glass installed on both sides. In this way, the lighting in the studio is very good. During the day, it feels like outdoors, but because of the sunlight it comes in from the side, so it doesn't shine directly into the studio. The entire floor has been treated with moisture-proof treatment, but it is still raised half a foot, and a wooden floor is added on top. Xiaoshu reached out and turned on the light, and the studio suddenly became bright. The entire studio is very comfortably furnished. There is a large bathroom on the side with a shower and a large round bathtub. Next to the bathroom is an open kitchen. The studio is in a remote location, and even takeaways are available. Unfortunately, when Xiaoshu worked here for several days and nights, he could only make some food for himself. Against the wall of the kitchen, a 596-liter double-door higher refrigerator, a higher wine cabinet, a coffee machine, and a water dispenser are placed side by side. In the corner of the studio, there are 3 different positions. There are 3 Simmons mattresses. When Xiaoshu is tired from painting, he can fall down on any bed at any time and sleep for a while. The reason why there are 3 mattresses is that opposite them, there are 3 work areas. Each work area is equipped with a complete set of painting tools such as easels, oil painting boxes, and paint brushes. The small tree can be used for several paintings. Create at the same time. When you wake up in bed, you don't have to get up immediately. Instead, you can lie there, look at the parts you have completed, and think about it. There is also a solid wood workbench the size of 2 ping-pong tables in the studio. There is a slide projector next to the workbench. There is a curtain on the wall that can show slides. There are also a row of 4 bookshelves filled with picture albums. There are also 2 sets of sofas and a swivel chair where Xiaoshu sits and paints. Xiaoshu asked Zhang Chen and Zhao Xian to sit on the sofa. The sofa was very large and comfortable, and people sank in when they sat on it. Xiaoshu asked them what they wanted, red wine or coffee. Just bring me a bottle of water, Zhang Chen said. I want a cup of coffee, Zhao Xian said. Xiaoshu walked over and opened the refrigerator, took out a bottle of water, turned around and called brother-in-law and threw the water over. Zhang Chen caught the water in the air, and Xiaoshu went to get Zhao Xian coffee. Xiaoshu handed the coffee to Zhao Xian and told them, "Wait a moment." Xiaoshu walked into the warehouse next door. After a while, Xiaoshu came out pushing a cart. There was a shelf on the cart, and there were oil paintings standing on the shelf. Xiaoshu pushed the cart to an easel 3 or 4 meters away from them and stopped, asking, "Start." Zhang Chen nodded. Xiaoshu put the first piece of work on the easel. Zhang Chen's eyes lit up. He saw that the whole painting was blurred with blood and flesh, as if a woman was giving birth. Among the blurred flesh and blood, Munch's the scream appeared. The moment Zhang Chen saw this painting, he felt a woman's voice. The screams broke through the air. The bloody childbirth scene infinitely expands the visual impact of the red sky and twisted human figures in the original The Scream, and the screams come one after another. Zhang Chen immediately understood that the series of paintings by Yao Fen seemed to be a superposition of pictures. To be more precise, it was actually a superposition of emotions. Sometimes it was the superposition of the same emotion. For example, in this painting, this emotion was put through expand after superposition. There is also the superposition of different emotions, which can bring alienation and absurd effects. And in each painting, the copy of the original work is a test of one's own skills, which is quite interesting. Zhang Chen stood up, took a closer look, then stepped back step by step, sat down on the sofa, and continued to stare at each painting. He would probably look at each painting for 20 minutes before asking Xiaoshu to change one. During this, Zhang Chen hardly spoke, and Zhao Xian kept asking Xiaoshu various questions. Most of these works were completed by Yao Fen at home. Xiaoshu saw the completion and understood it. Communicate with Yao Fen, so he is relatively familiar with these works. After reading all the works, Xiaoshu came over and sat down on the sofa. He looked at Zhang Chen, who continued to be silent. After a while, Zhang Chen asked, "Xiaoshu, these works are not inferior to you, do you accept them?" Xiaoshu smiled, neither convincing nor dissatisfied. Zhang Chen said, "It would be a pity to let Yao Fen continue to sell houses. It would be a loss to the Chinese oil painting industry. She likes her current job very much." Xiaoshu smiled. She said that she can deal with different people and come into contact with different faces. A sales department is a microcosm of this society. "That's enough," Zhang Chen said, "it's time to push her out." Zhao Xian nodded and said, "Indeed, otherwise it would be a pity." Zhang Chen and Xiaoshu said, "I am your brother-in-law. If you still respect me as your brother-in-law, just listen to me, okay?" Xiaoshu smiled and said, "Yes, I dare not disobey you." Zhang Chen and Zhao Xian said, "We are going to do a special exhibition for this group of works. It depends on your time there. Let me know when you have arranged the time. Some media remember my previous fame and are still asking me for manuscripts. I will cooperate with your time and write an article to promote it. Zhao Xian, please make use of the resources available in the library." And you, Zhang Chen and Xiaoshu said, "You can also help your wife by shouting. I won't embarrass you." Zhao Xian and Xiaoshu both nodded. Although it's a bit vulgar, it must be done. We will build up Yao Fen's reputation first this year. Next spring, we will contact an auction company to hold a special auction. There is no other way. People nowadays rely on the performance of the auction market. To judge the quality of painters, let's do the same. Otherwise it would be a pity." Zhang Chen and Zhao Xian Xiaoshu said. "Thank you for the reward of 2 fishes. Thank you for your monthly votes from Big Brother, on the road, every day, 4 + 1 = 5, no future, just remember the original intention, Maki no Fenga, Lao Dibao Ei, and Kitty Sun. Thanks for all the votes and reading. I wish you all good health. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Shi Niang. Chapter 2277. Riverside Oil Painting Museum will hold Oriental Curves, Sanyu Works Invitational Exhibition in September, which will focus on displaying 15 Sanyu works collected by Riverside Oil Painting Museum, as well as works by domestic and foreign collectors. 22 pieces, a total of 37 pieces of Sanyu's oil paintings are on display. From October 1st to 20th, the Oil Painting Museum will hold a retrospective of 20 years, oil paintings exhibition from 1949 to 1969 in conjunction with the National Day series of exhibitions organized by the Propaganda Department of the Hangzhou Municipal Party Committee every year. Zhao Xian arranged Yao Fen's greeting, hidden site from October 25 to November 25, for a period of 1 month. Zhao Xian called Zhang Chen, and Zhang Chen said okay, then we will set it at this time. After the exhibition time was decided, all of Yao Fen's works were moved from Ziyash's studio in Deking to the Riverside Oil Painting Gallery and placed in a lounge next to the warehouse that was not open to the public. Zhao Xian invited art critics who have long-term cooperative relationships with their Riverside Oil Painting Gallery, professors from art schools, media reporters, and owners of major auction companies to come and observe the series of Yao Fen's works. The name Yao Fen and her series of works began to occupy the media space. Zhang Chen wrote an article that was widely circulated on the internet. The title of the article was the title of Yao Fen's upcoming exhibition, Pregnancy Hidden Site. Zhang Chen was also invited to produce words behind paintings for CCTV. 3 episodes of the program focused on introducing this group of works by Yao Fen. Soon, everyone in the art world was spreading word of mouth and asking each other, who is Yao Fen? Which school did she come from? Everyone was a little surprised when they learned that Yao Fen had never attended any art school. Looking at her works, it is impossible to tell that they were created by someone without professional training. Digging further, some people found out that Yao Fen was the former director of the Riverside Oil Painting Gallery and now the Secretary General of Splendid China. Everyone was even more curious. They were not only curious about how she, a high school student without a college diploma, could become a going to the curator of Riverside Oil Painting Gallery and the secretary to the board of directors of Splendid China. I was even more curious about the powerful background behind her. The topic brought traffic, and the traffic could quickly be converted into real money. Some auction companies who thought they had a keen sense of smell came to the door and found out that Yao Fen turned out to be Ziyashu's wife. Everyone was very interested and felt that it seems to make sense. It doesn't seem strange that Ziyashu's wife can draw such a work. Ziyashu smiled and said to them, actually, she is my teacher. While these auction companies were contacting Ziyashu about the auction of his works, they also began to contact them about the auction of Yao Fen's works. When they knew that the Riverside Oil Painting Gallery would hold a special exhibition of Yao Fen's works in the next month, they became more optimistic about the market prospects of Yao Fen's works. In recent years, all the works recommended or provided by the Riverside Oil Painting Gallery have been highly recognized by the market. This series of Yao Fen's works has so many topics, so it is naturally more favored by auction companies. Zhang Chen had already thought out the whole plan. He called Lu Ligan to his office. Wu Ziyawei passed by downstairs and came up to sit with Zhang Chen. The 3 of them sat down on the sofa. Zhang Chen and Lu Ligan said that when the auction is held next spring, we will all join in the fun and take photos of Yao Fen's works. Now, when everyone judges a painter, there seems to be no other standard, just that you can be in the auction market. How much did it cost? Lu Ligan said yes, you, me, Tan Shahan, Xiaofang, Lu Yun, our companies can raise the price at will, and I can put these works in the B/U0026B. Improve the quality of our B/U0026B. That's okay, Zhang Chen said, as long as you're not afraid of thieves missing you. Wu Zaiwai was listening on the side and was confused. He asked Zhang Chen what was going on. Zhang Chen told him the matter. Wu Zaiwai said that he also wanted to participate. Lu Ligan asked. As a courier, if you want to take some oil paintings, you should enlarge the photo of Luo Chuo Xiangzi and hang it in your office. Go away, Wu Zaiwai scolded back, we are express delivery companies, can't we be artistic? You look down on us so much. Believe it or not, I will ask you to stop all the express delivery business of Renjia Travel. What are you afraid of? I don't need yours. I can use other companies' ones, Lu Ligan said. Whichever company you use, I will let you stop. Mr. Lu, I'm not bragging. I, Wu Zaiwai, don't have any other skills, but I still have the ability to do this. Don't look at the quarrels among the couriers from several of our companies. We, the bosses, went there, but we often get together, and we are all from Tonglu, so we have a lot of hatred, Wu Zaiwai said. Oh, I can't tell, Wu Kai is still covering the sky with just one hand, Lu Ligan shouted. Wu Zaiwai laughed proudly, of course, if our express delivery stops, Mr. Lu, think about it, can your B/U0026BS still survive? Lu Ligan thought about it for a while and realized that he really couldn't. Not to mention other things, just the logistics of daily meals were delivered through Wu Zaiwai's company. In addition, the bedding, towels, and bath towels that were changed from the hotel every day were also delivered by express delivery company, express it to their designated washing company for cleaning. Without the courier service, all his B/U0026BS would not only have no food, but they would not even have a change of bedding right away. Okay, I surrender, Wu Zaiwai, I agree with your art, Lu Ligan said, besides, you won't lose money if you buy this. It is the best investment. The higher you bid, wait until her works come out next time. It will definitely be higher than this time. If you buy her works before you are equivalent to buying the original stock. Wu Zaiwai looked at Zhang Chen, who nodded and said, generally speaking, this is the case. Okay, if that's the case, I can take a few more pictures, Wu Zaiwai said, and Zhang Chen bowed his hand to him. Lu Ligan told Zhang Chen what he had just thought of. Both of them were very emotional. They felt that Wu Zaiwai and Wei Venfang set up a store on the trail behind Sijiking and started delivering packages, but they were also arrested by the Postal and Telecommunications Inspection Team. The seizure seemed like yesterday. Unexpectedly, in a blink of an eye, express delivery has become pervasive and deeply embedded in everyone's daily life. Zhang Chen's cell phone rang, he picked it up, nodded his face became solemn, hung up the phone, stood up and said to Lu Ligan. Let's go. Where to go? Lu Ligan asked. Nanjing, Zhang Chen said. Lu Ligan also stood up immediately. Zhang Chen said that going to Nanjing must be related to Jianfang and the others. Going in such a hurry meant that the matter was not serious. Lu Ligan followed Zhang Chen downstairs without asking. Wu Zaiwai asked, Mr. Zhang, what's the matter? Do you need my help? Zhang Chen said thank you. Jianfang and the others had something to do, but it would be fine for me and Zhang Ziyi to go there. Wu Zaiwai, we will get together when we come back. Wu Zaiwai said yes, if you need someone, call me. I have hundreds of people in Nanjing. After speaking, he thought that Zhang Chen had a logistics base in Nanjing and a branch of food and drinking men and women, and there would be no fewer people than him. Zhang Chen said no, it's not a matter of killing. Wu Zaiwai nodded. If it wasn't a matter of fighting or killing, it was something difficult to talk about, so he didn't ask any more questions. When the two of them got to the car, Zhang Chen told Lu Ligan that it was Chen Yakin who called him just now. The purpose of Chen Yakin's call was to ask him to call Jianfang and persuade Jianfang. What's wrong with Jianfang? Lu Ligan asked. Fang and his company have 820 million corporate bonds. Tomorrow is the payment day, but their company's account does not have that much money and they cannot pay it. Chen Yakin wants to take out the money from the stock market and let Fang and the others go there. This is a difficult situation, but Fang and the others won't agree to anything. She said that the money was left by Lao Meng to Little Nail and they couldn't touch it. Chen Yakin asked me to persuade Fang. I'm going, Lu Ligan shouted. Everyone knows what it means if corporate bonds cannot be repaid in time. It is just like your loan in the bank. If you do not repay it on the repayment date, it means that your company's credit will go bankrupt. Once you get to this point, the next step is with successive thunderstorms, banks will collect loans in advance, and other corporate bonds will also require early payment. Even construction companies and suppliers will immediately stop the project, take necessary actions to stop losses, and at the same time step up efforts to recover their payments. At this time, the company is not exposed to the crisis, but is at the center of the crisis. The crisis will expand exponentially and eventually reach the point of being out of control. Chen Yakin also knew the dangers involved, so she called Zhang Chen. She didn't know who else Fang and the others would listen to besides Zhang Chen. As soon as Zhang Chen received the call, he knew that this was not something that could be explained clearly in 1 or 2 phone calls, or that he had to rush to Nanjing immediately. Fang and the others don't want Chen Yakin's money. What are they doing? Are there other ways to raise funds? Lu Ligan asked. Chen Yakin said that for this payment, it had been well arranged. Fang and the others took out their houses and made mortgages. Some of the company's assets were also mortgaged, and the loan procedures have been completed. Well, he did it, and the money could have been received yesterday. But yesterday the bank said it was too late to disperse the loan, so it postponed it to this morning. This was originally a normal and common thing, but the money still didn't come out this morning. Instead, I received a notice from the bank saying that it would have to wait. Only then did Fang and the others think that something was strange and that there was a monster. They quickly learned about it privately and found out that someone was causing trouble. This guy reported to the risk control department of the head office that Fang and the others were going to use this loan to repay maturing corporate bonds. The bank took it, of course. He panicked and ordered the Nanjing branch to suspend the loan on the grounds that it did not meet the purpose of the loan. Fang and the others asked. The bank said it wanted to re-examine their loan requirements. In fact, they just wanted to delay tomorrow to see if they really want to use the money to repay corporate debts. If so, Fang and his company there will be a thunderstorm, and if not, the bank can wait until tomorrow to continue arranging the loan. Zhang Chen and Lu Ligan were talking, and Lu Ligan cursed, "Old fox. Either you meet a competitor, or you meet a villain." Zhang Chen sighed and said. "That's for sure," Lu Ligan said. When the car arrived at the ramp onto the highway, Zhang Chen pulled over and said to Lu Ligan, "Come on, I'll call Chen Yakin to find out more about the matter." Lu Ligan agreed, and the two got out of the car, exchanged seats, and continued on the road. Zhang Chen dialed Chen Yakin's phone and pressed the speakerphone button. Zhang Chen asked Chen Yakin, "How is it now?" Li Yang is still thinking of a way, saying that now he can only find social funds, and it will definitely be too late to change banks, but I think it is impossible to find social funds, Chen Yakin said. "Why?" Zhang Chen asked. "Nowadays, all funds in society, those with low interest rates, must be mortgaged, and those without mortgages are loan sharks. Fang and the others have already given other items to the bank for their assets, and there is no way to use them for other items." As Chen Yakin said, Zhang Chen and Lu Ligan looked at each other and they understood. Chen Yakin continued on the phone, "Besides, the amount is too big. How can there be so much social funds at the moment? It's not 1 or 2 million, but several hundred million. No matter how much face Li Yang has, it's impossible for him to give it without collateral. You have tens of millions, but like them now, if every family wants to put it together, they simply can't do it. Zhang Chen and Lu Ligan both believed that Chen Yakan's statement was correct. Chen Yakan and Zhang Chen said, "Mr. Zhang, please advise Qian Fang. If I withdraw the money I put in the stock market today, it won't arrive until the next day, tomorrow. It will be too late to withdraw it tomorrow, but Qian Fang and the others won't let me withdraw it at all. Chen Yakan, Pol, and I are on our way here. Don't worry. I won't call Qian Fang anymore. If you have any questions, wait until we get there. Don't touch your money in the stock market. I have money here and can do it at any time. Transfer, no problem," Zhang Chen said. Chen Yakan said, "Okay, then I will go to Qian Fang's company to wait for you, and also watch them. If they get anxious, don't mess around." "Yes, Chen Yakan, you are right. Go and tell them not to mess around. Just tell them that the Pole and I are on the way here. Let them never touch the loan sharks in society, even if it is Li Yang. Neither can my friends. By the way, just tell Li Yang this and say it was me who said it. If he touches me, I will fall out with him. Just look at them and tell them to wait." Zhang Chen said anxiously. Chen Yakan said, "Yes, I understand, Mr. Zhang. By the way, Chen Yakan, is there anything else going on in the company?" Zhang Chen asked. "Yes," Chen Yakan said, "the company's project by Tianmu Lake in Liang has been sealed, but this matter should have nothing to do with the company." "How to say?" "That project was in cooperation with a local company in Liang. Something happened to the boss of that company. They said he was charged with bribery. It wasn't this project, but something happened on another project. He was taken away by the police. Because it is a cooperative project, it is also implicated." As Chen Yakan said, Zhang Chen's heart sank. As expected, misfortunes never come singly. "Thank you for the reward of 2 fishes. Thank you for your monthly votes from Zhao 1017, on the road to a nation, Yunlong Frajiao, and Hao, 4 + 1 = 5, and East Long 888. Thanks for all the votes and reading. I wish you all good health. 1. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Shi Niang. Chapter 2278. Chen Yakan went to Qian Fang's company, which was the company where Meng Ping originally worked, on the top floor of the building. After Meng Ping passed away, Chen Yakan gave this place to Qian Fang and others. Chen Yakan and Qian Fang said, "I am alone, what do I want to do? It's fine at home. There's no need for an office. I don't want others to be in Lao Meng's office, so you should move in." Qian Fang's real estate company specializes in villa projects. Villa projects are usually in the suburbs. Their offices in the city are still rented. In the years when Meng Ping disappeared, Meng Ping's company was empty, but the company was still there. Now, Qian Fang and the others are still helping to take care of it. Chen Yakan and Qian Fang said so. Qian Fang also felt that it was inappropriate to rent Lao Meng's office to others, so she agreed to Chen Yakan, but she had to pay the rent. Chen Yakan refused to accept it, so Qian Fang still transferred the money to the property company's account. Lao Meng is the only shareholder of the building's property management company. After Lao Meng's absence, Chen Yakan became the only shareholder. This property management company only manages this building and has no other business. Chen Yakan entered the company and first went to Li Yang's office. In Li Yang's office, there were 2 people there, and they were arguing. Partia asked Li Yang, "What about your guarantee measures?" Li Yang spread his hands and said, "No, do you want the residual value that has been done for other items?" Party B shook his head, "You want to spend time with me." Li Yang laughed and scolded, "What a big deal, I personally guarantee it, okay." Partia said, "You are worth 20 million, but not 50 million. You still need guarantee measures." "It's too much," Li Yang said, "then I'll borrow 20 million. Fang smiled and said, if it's 20 million, you're worth 6 million, and there are 14 million left, and we need guarantee measures. You idiot, Li Yang pointed at the door and cursed, the door is there, so I can tip it off. The other two people sat there, looking at Li Yang and laughing. At this moment, Chen Yakin appeared at the door. She looked at the two people and said to Li Yang, Li Yang, come here. Li Yang stood up and walked over, and when he walked outside the door, Chen Yakin told him, let's go to Qian Fang's place to talk. Li Yang put his head in the door and said to the two people inside, wait here. Partia waved his hand, meaning I understand, go ahead. The two people walked into Qian Fang's office. Qian Fang's office was Meng Ping's office. When he saw the two of them coming in, Qian Fang's first question was to ask Li Yang. How about it? Li Yang said that they were still negotiating, but the deal was not settled. The next family would arrive at about 2 o'clock. There was no mortgage, and it was estimated that the maximum price per family would be 30 million. Qian Fang nodded. Chen Yakin said, let them all go back, Li Yang. Li Yang was stunned for a moment, looked at Chen Yakin, and then at Qian Fang. Qian Fang said, Chen Yakin, don't even think about it. If your money comes in, I will let Ye Yulan return it the way it came. It's not me, it's Mr. Zhang. Mr. Zhang asked me to tell Li Yang not to touch the funds in the society. Chen Yakin turned to Li Yang and said to him, Mr. Zhang said, if you touch, if you don't, he will fall out with you. These are his exact words, let me tell you. Mr. Zhang and Mr. Lu are on their way here. He said he has the funds, Chen Yakin said. Qian Fang breathed a sigh of relief, and then asked, did you call Mr. Zhang? Chen Yakin said yes. How could you make this call? Qian Fang asked. Why can't you call me? Chen Yakin asked, between friends, just help if you can. If you can't help, it doesn't matter. There's no need not to say anything. Besides, I just wanted him to help me persuade me when I called him. I advise you to use the money I have here. Mr. Zhang said it himself. He has the money there, so don't use my money, and you also asked me to come to the company to watch you. Why are you looking at us? Qian Fang asked curiously. Don't touch the funds in the society. He knows that you will be sick and seek medical treatment now, Chen Yakin said, who knows how many tricks are there. They don't dare, Li Yang said firmly. Li Yang, just wait until Mr. Zhang and the others arrive. If there is anything, you can tell Mr. Zhang directly when you arrive. If he asked me to take it, I have already brought it to him. Let's just wait. Chen Yakin said that both Qian Fang and Li Yang were silent. Qian Fang sighed, you still shouldn't call Mr. Zhang. At least, you should tell me before calling. Chen Yakin laughed and asked, Qian Fang, are you making a mistake? Before I call, I want to ask you, Qian Fang, I want to call Mr. Zhang and ask him to persuade you. Qian Fang and Li Yang both laughed, and Chen Yakin said, Qian Fang, let me ask you, if something happens here, and Mr. Zhang doesn't even know about it, what do you think he would think? Qian Fang was asked. Also, I also told Mr. Zhang about lying, Chen Yakin said, this was after he said he wanted to lend you money. I thought that before he borrowed money, he should, the risks are all told to him, and what he thinks and decides is his business. At almost 4 o'clock, Zhang Chen and Lu Lizang arrived. After they arrived, Chen Yakin stood up and said to Zhang Chen, sit down, I'll go out for a while. As Chen Yakin walked out of the door, Qian Fang said, Yakin, let's have dinner together later. Chen Yakin said yes, I'll be at Jiaking's place. Lu Ligan and Li Yang knew that Zhang Chen and Qian Fang had something to discuss, so they went to Li Yang's office. Zhang Chen and Qian Fang sat down. Zhang Chen asked Qian Fang, so many things happened to you, why didn't you call me to tell me? Qian Fang smiled and said nothing. Why, You look down on me and think I can't afford so much money, Zhang Chen asked. Qianfang laughed and said, of course not. Then you think that if you want to talk to me, I might refuse, Zhang Chen asked again. Qianfang looked at Zhang Chen and said seriously, Mr. Zhang, I know you have the money. As long as I ask, you will definitely borrow it. But the more this happens, the less likely I am to ask. I would rather pay some cost and go outside borrow. Why? Zhang Chen asked. Qianfang lowered her head and said nothing. After a while, she raised her head and said, it's stressful. I think it will be a lot of pressure. I see. Zhang Chen nodded. He knew what Qianfang was talking about. Just like if something happened, Zhang Chen knew that as long as he asked Li Yang would definitely help him. But every time Zhang Chen encountered something when talking, Li Yang was the person he was least able to speak to. Zhang Chen sighed, but Qianfang, do you still remember that I told you that we are still here even though Meng Ping is gone? Remember, but this will not relieve the pressure. I just can't say it, but to be honest, when Chen Yakin told me earlier that you were already on the way, I felt a lot more relaxed, Qianfang said with a smile. Zhang Chen also laughed and asked, then why don't you allow Chen Yakin to use her money in the stock market? That was what Lao Meng left for Little Nail, Qianfang said, there are too many troubles in the company now. I don't know if something worse will happen. If so, what will happen to her? If the money comes in, I might be trapped. I can't do such a thing. It's too, by the way, Zhang Chen, asking you to borrow money may also involve this risk. I know, Chen Yakin told me, and Zhuangzi and I also feel that things are a bit strange. If they are all independent incidents, it doesn't matter. They will be resolved one by one. If they are related to each other, then someone is targeting you. Zhang Chen said. Qianfang nodded, someone is targeting us. At least, how could the bank's phone number be called if it wasn't someone with intentions? It happened to be at this time. Li Yang is still investigating, and he hasn't found out who this person is yet. Who? Then ignore him. Anyway, the troops will welcome the water to the weir. By the way, Qianfang, apart from this, do you have any other debts due this year? Zhang Chen asked. Next month there will be another 530 million corporate bonds that Lao Chiao and the others helped to issue, Qianfang said, but that doesn't matter. The bank here has assured me that the loan will be in place next week. They just want to let's see if we can survive tomorrow. Zhang Chen looked at his watch. It was already 4:20. The bank ended large amount exchanges at 4:30. Zhang Chen and Qianfang said. It's too late today. Xiaofang will send you 1.5 billion early tomorrow morning and won't delay your payment. No need for so much, Qianfang said, we will only be short of more than 300 million for tomorrow's payment. We still have some money in our account. Didn't I mention next month's loan from the bank? Will definitely be in place next week. At the bank, you go and withdraw the loan. If they want to grant it, you don't want it? If you continue to make loans, find another bank. Zhang Chen said, what the bank will do is to add icing on the cake, but you have to tell them that they can't just add more if they want, or when they want to add more, otherwise they will go even further next time also. Other banks they will also imitate. If such a large loan fails, it will be a loss for them, and they must be taught a lesson. Otherwise, you will always be passive when dealing with them. Don't worry, if I spend 1.5 billion, I won't be poor. You don't have to be burdened here, let alone feel pressure. You can use this money whenever you want. Don't touch Chen Yakin's money, you are right, Qianfang. Qianfang nodded and said okay, thank you, Mr. Zhang. Thank me for anything. That's what I should do. To be honest, Qianfang, I'm a little angry with you. I'm angry that you refused to tell me something. Just like Meng Ping and Zhang Zi back then. Even if the sky fell, we shouldn't run away, not to mention that the sky hasn't fallen yet. If they tell us about the matter and we all think of a solution together, we can still solve it, don't you think? Qianfang said yes. So, next time you encounter something, you must tell me. If it is beyond my ability, I will also tell you clearly. If one more person comes with ideas, there may be more ways to solve the problem. Qianfang said okay, I understand, Mr. Zhang. Qianfang's company's main business is villa projects. In the past few years, the sales of the villa projects were very good and they made a lot of money. However, in recent years, the sales have been average. The company's inventory is relatively large and the profit level is relatively low. However, the operation is still going well. Very tough. Firstly, because of the poor ability to monetize villa projects, those investors have now given up investing in villa projects. For the same money, they are more inclined to buy large flat floor buildings in the core areas of the city, houses in the core areas, and raise a house on the side. At the same time, you can rent it out and get part of the benefits, but it is difficult to rent out a villa. The second reason is that those who have actually lived in a villa feel that it is very inconvenient to live in a villa. The villa is far from the city, traffic is congested, and it takes too much time to go back and forth. Zhang Chen himself has always been unwilling to live in Peach Blossom Spring. I find it too inconvenient to go there. The most important point is that the purchase restriction policy in each city is getting tighter and tighter. The first people to be hit are the people who can afford to buy villas. They must have several houses in the past and are no longer qualified to buy houses. Qianfang has the same worries as Tan Shahan. They also want to transform, but they don't know what transformation can do. Starting from Hainan, what they have been doing all the way is real estate. Apart from real estate, they have no idea about other industries. No. Really, Zhang Chen, if you give me a small supermarket or a flower shop now, I will be at a loss. I don't know how to run it. Doing this crappy real estate business will increase people's appetite. Hundreds and tens of millions are enough to look at it, it's just a small amount of money, but in fact, it makes people stupid. Apart from buying land and building houses, they can't do anything else, Qianfang and Zhang Chen said. During dinner in the evening, halfway through the meal, Zhang Chen got up and went to the bathroom. When he came out, he saw Chen Yakin waiting for him in the corridor. Chen Yakin and Zhang Chen said, I saw Qianfang and Li Yang, and they were already a little panicked. What? I dare to borrow money, and I will agree to any conditions, so I called you. I'm really a little panicked. Their situation today is very similar to that of Lao Meng and Zhuangzi at that time. They were a little reckless. In fact, one thing I always regretted later was that I didn't call you in time at that time. If they were beaten and you could stop them, the result would be different. Even when Lao Meng fell ill later, I should have called you earlier. Alas, I actually delayed many things by myself, Chen Yakin and Zhang Chen said. You did the right thing, Chen Yakin. I also mentioned Qianfang earlier, Zhang Chen and Chen Yakin said. The next day, Qianfang and the others took Zhang Chen and Lu Ligan to see one of their projects in Zaijian Mountain. This project had been launched, but the sales situation was not ideal. They also went to see the project in Liang. The project is located on the edge of Tianmu Lake, and the scenery is very good. This project is the same as what Chen Yakin told Zhang Chen and others on the phone. The legal person of the local company they were cooperating with was arrested by the local public security agency for bribery and bid rigging in another project. In the cooperative project, the other party held 51% of the shares and was the major shareholder, so the project was also sealed by the police. Li Yang was trying to figure out a way to unblock this project. The suggestion from the police was that it would be best for them to transfer all the shares, so that they would be completely out of touch. Li Yang went to the detention center and met the other party's legal person, and the other party also agreed to transfer all shares to them. Lu Ligan and Jianfang said that in the project here and in Purple Mountain, our Renjia tourism company bought 3 villas each to be used as bed and breakfasts. Why, sympathize with us? Jianfang asked with a smile. Yes, Lu Ligan laughed and said, sympathy and need. I was originally in Nanjing and wanted to add more projects. Also, the VIP members of my Renjia Tourism are all potential customers of your projects. Generally speaking, wherever our projects are located, we will bring them sales. This is good, this appeals to me, Jianfang said. Thank you Brokeback Mountain for the reward of 2 fishes. Thank you to Zongkai 727, Hua and Youth, Zhongxin Ming Chen, Zhou Shui, Hu Hu, the villain among villains, Book Friends 160529232957000, Book Friends 202203241858433375 for your monthly votes. Thanks for all the votes and reading. I wish you all good health. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Shi Niang. Chapter 2279. Jianfang was sitting there, with the glass of the hotel box behind her. Outside the glass was the vast expanse of blue water, Ma Chu Lake. From this angle, the lakes in all cities seemed to be the same. If you hadn't known in advance that you were in Nanjing, how could you tell the difference? I don't know, this is Ma Chu Lake, the West Lake in Hangzhou, or the slender West Lake in Yangzhou. Jianfang, Zhang Chen, and Lu Ligan said, we are really scared of the ups and downs in real estate. Many times, it is like riding a roller coaster, which is frightening. Lao Jiao has been encouraging me to go. I wasn't even interested in going public in Hong Kong. I was just thinking, why do you want to be so big? Isn't it tiring? It's better to just do it on a small scale. It's a small matter, everything is under your nose, and you can control any risks. If you do it on such a big scale, the projects will be spread all over the country. When the situation is good, I will tell you good news everywhere. You will make money here, and you will make money there. But what about when the situation is bad? It's not the same, there are problems here and there, and we are so busy. I was on the phone with Zhen Zhen that day, and she also told me not to go on the market. Their splendid china has already been listed on the market, and there was no way. If it hadn't been on the market, she didn't want to go on the market. She told me that everything else was empty. Your company only has a scale of 1 trillion. If you are like those guys, the actual debt ratio is 120 or 30, what's the use? Does 1 penny of these trillions belong to you? Not even 1 penny, and you still owe a fortune. We don't want to play this kind of game. We should live a steady life. I think what Zhen Zhen said is right. To play that kind of game is to build a castle on the sand. When a storm comes, everything will be gone. Just like this time, our debt ratio is obviously under good control, 100%. It's less than 70, but if this hurdle is not passed today, it will be the same. I feel scared just thinking about it. Thank you, Mr. Zhang. Jianfang raised her cup as she spoke, and Li Yang, Su Jiaking, and Ye Yulan also raised it. Cao Zia he is not here today. She went to the UK to see Yuan Yuan. Yuan Yuan later went to the UK to study for a PhD. After graduation, she stayed in the UK. Last week, her second child was born, and Cao Zia he, the grandmother, rushed over. Zhang Chen raised his glass and clinked it with them. What was in the glass was not wine, but coke. After dinner, Zhang Chen and Lu Ligan were driving back to Hangzhou. They had to take turns driving on the way, so they didn't drink. What are you going to do next? Zhang Chen asked. Build public rental housing, Li Yang said, close all the projects on hand one by one and replace them with public rental housing. From now on, the entire company will live on rent. Don't be anxious. When you have money, just do a project. If you have money, just do it to do one. All the properties we do are owned by the company itself. If I go, then you are not doing real estate. You are working as apartment tenants, landlords, and landlords, Lu Ligan shouted. It doesn't matter what he is, as long as he is alive, Jian Fang said. How old are you? Can you still fight and kill like you did when you were young? You don't have the spirit anymore. Think about that time in Hainan, where you could do 5 or 6 things a day. It's a project, it's like playing. Every day, Jiaking and I take turns in tea houses and hotels. I don't know how many times I have to go into the Guo's Hang tea house in the morning, noon, and evening. The young master and princess there couldn't help but laugh when they saw us coming again. Now, they feel tired after talking about a project for 3 days. My energy can't keep up, and my brain power can't keep up either. When Qian Fang spoke, everyone fell silent. When they think of that time, they will definitely think of Meng Ping. When they think of Meng Ping, they don't want to think about it anymore. People were simpler at that time, Su Jiaking said. You go into the box with the red line map, and when you come out, you have a check in your hand. No one will doubt that the red line map is fake, and the check is fake. Now, how is it possible? What you said is ridiculous. I have to go to the Resource Bureau and the bank to verify it first. One day is not enough to do all this nonsense. Lu Ligan laughed and said, it's true, what Jia Qing said. I really thought about it later. Why were you so stupid at that time? You just made a set of fake information, and no one knew about it. The person turned around and sold it to someone else. No one would check the authenticity of the red line map. When someone really checks it? That doesn't matter, Su Jiaking interrupted Lu Ligan. I don't know how many hands this red line chart has changed, and I can't figure out who sold it to whom. People sitting at the same table to eat like this are all people are gathered together like this, and no one knows anyone outside the box. I've seen it. Zhang Chen couldn't help but laugh before saying, Qian Fang, didn't we look at a piece of land with a red line map? Instead, we saw a sea. This land was said to wait until the tide ebbs. You can only see it when. Except for Li Yang, the other people all left. They all experienced it and knew about it. Qian Fang smiled, her eyes turned red, and she said. At that time, looking at that piece of sea, I was really desperate. We had spent so much effort and invested all our money in order to get that piece of land. But when that piece of land went to waste, we were left with nothing. Later, I changed hands and made a lot of money, Zhang Chen said with a smile. Yes, yeah, Yulan said. When I saw the money coming in from the account, I was dumbfounded. It was like a dream. However, if there is such a land now, everyone will rush to get it. It is really the best sea view room, Lu Ligan said. Facts have proved that our leaders have a vision. At that time, they looked at to future needs. Go away, Qian Fang scolded. Those bastards just took advantage of us and took too much from us. They really couldn't deal with us, so they allocated such a piece of land randomly. Anyway, at that time, land in Hainan was sold randomly, and there are no land use indicators and no approval from above is required. A county magistrate can decide. When they were talking about all this, they still bypassed Meng Ping and no one mentioned him. But Zhang Chen's mind clearly flashed that they came back from the beach and arrived at the downstairs of Sanli building. Meng Ping and Qian Fang got off the car. Qian Fang stretched out her hand and held Meng Ping's back, and the two of them walked inside together. After eating, drinking, and chatting, it was completely dark outside and it was time for them to finish. They all went downstairs and said goodbye downstairs. Zhang Chen and Lu Lepole got in the car and started walking to Hangzhou. Lu Ligan drove the car, and Zhang Chen sat in the passenger seat. Before the car reached the highway intersection, Lu Ligan's cell phone rang. He looked at it and saw that it was an unfamiliar number. Lu Ligan ignored it. What a scam call! The phone stopped for a moment, and after a while, it rang again. It was still the same number. Lu Ligan took the phone and asked. Where? Excuse me, are you Lu Ligan, Chairman Lu? A girl asked, shivering on the phone. Lu Ligan was confused and said, I am. Who are you? I, oops, do you know someone named Lu? Lu Ligan felt excited and quickly said, yes, I am his son-in-law. What's the matter? Zhang Chen also became alert and looked at Lu Ligan. Lu Ligan answered the phone. His expression changed, but he quickly calmed down, stopped the car and continued. Beauty, don't worry. I know what you do, and I also know that my father-in-law has this hobby. I support it. By the way, look and see if he has a bag with him. Yes, there is a small bag. Okay, Beauty, calm down and don't panic. Open the bag and see if there is any money inside, Lu Ligan said. The girl opposite opened the bag, saw the money inside, and said to Lu Ligan, yes, there is money. Take it out and see how many there are. One knife costs 10,000, and there are also loose ones. It's more than 10,000. Let me count them. No, Beauty, listen to me, this money is yours now, but listen, Beauty, don't panic, okay? Well, he's still naked, right? You can give him something to wear first, as long as it's not too ugly. Yes, a hotel bathrobe will do too. Then you call 120 for an ambulance. When the car arrives, you follow it to see which hospital it goes to. Once you get to the hospital, you can find a chance to slip away and your work is done. Isn't it simple? Do you understand? This has nothing to do with you at all. Even if the police come, I will cover you, do you understand? The other party kept saying, okay. You do as I say, and I guarantee that nothing will happen to you. If you don't do as I say and run away now, I will definitely be able to find you. No matter where you hide, I will have a way to find you. Do you know? You follow the ambulance to the hospital, give me a call, and you can leave with all the money, and the rest is my business, do you understand? Ming, I understand. Okay, then go ahead and do it. The phone was disconnected and Zhang Chen asked, Lu Yun's father? Yes, at this time, the old man and the old lady were dancing in the square. He went to do the belly dance. He was really brave, but when he landed on the little girl's belly, he swayed and passed out. Lu Ligan said. How did I find you? He had a business card of mine with him. Damn it, you told him to do this, right? Zhang Chen cursed. Of course, if the emergency contact, whether it's a chicken or the police, if you don't call me, why should you call Lu Yun? Lu Ligan said and laughed, the old man is really worth it. Zhang Chen glared at Lu Ligan and cursed, you can still humming laugh. So what, I'm still crying. Crying will affect judgment, Lu Ligan said, as the saying goes, a man can be charming even if he is a ghost. Should I just say that this old man is not worth it? Zhang Chen was too lazy to pay attention to him. He picked up his mobile phone and was about to call Lu Yun. Lu Ligan snatched the phone away and cursed. You want to call Lu Yun, right? Are you crazy? If Lu Yun knows about this, how will you let the old man's face be exposed if he gets to the hospital and he's fine? If something happens, how will you let Lu Yun's face be exposed? You only know now. Even if you informed Lu Yun, what could she do? Look at what time it is now. She has wings and can fly to Chongqing. Then what do you think we should do? Zhang Chen asked. Of course we will drive there immediately and check the situation there. It is more than 1,300 kilometers from Nanjing to Chongqing. We will leave immediately and we will arrive tomorrow morning, Lu Ligan said. Then let's go. Wait a minute, there are still things to deal with, Lu Ligan said. What's up? An old man with an unknown origin is pulled to the hospital in an ambulance and has no family members. How will the hospital send him to the ICU? Does he know how to intubate and rescue him? Luligan said. I'm afraid he only needs to deal with it twice before leaving him in the corridor. Don't worry about it. When Zhang Chen thought about it, it was true. Thank you for the rewards of Don't Take It Too Seriously, Brokeback Mountain, and Two Fishes. Thank you for your monthly votes on Don't Take It Too Seriously, On the Road to a Nation, On the Road 2006, If You Don't Let Yourself Get Mad, You Have to Act Like a Monster, Zhao 1017, Zipanjiang 1, Quandian Electrical, and Daos Hung 123. Thanks for all the reading and votes. I wish you all good health. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Shi Niang. Chapter 2280. Tuk tuk tuk, someone was knocking on the car window. Zhang Chen and Lu Ligan turned to look and saw a traffic policeman standing outside the car window. Lu Ligan pressed down the window. The traffic policeman saluted him and told him, "You can't park here." Lu Ligan said impatiently, "You write the ticket and stick it on the front. You can go on your own." The traffic policeman frowned, saluted Lu Ligan again, and said, "Please show your driver's license." "Get out," Lu Ligan and Zhang Chen shouted almost in unison. The traffic policeman was startled and trembled. Lu Ligan immediately lowered his tone and said to him, I'm sorry, we really have something urgent to deal with and we are saving people's lives. Please keep the ticket." After saying that, he ignored him and picked up his phone. "What are you doing?" Zhang Chen asked. "Ask someone to come over," Lu Ligan said. "How can we do it without anyone here?" Zhang Chen picked up his mobile phone and said to Lu Ligan, "Forget it, your people are all in the ravines. I'll call them. My people are all in Chongqing City." Zhang Chen called Su Yu, general manager of the Chongqing branch of food and drink, and told him, "You go to the car and wait now. I will transfer 100,000 yuan to you immediately. Just wait for my call and I will tell you which hospital. You go there immediately and find a man named Lu Suanren who just sent him 120 yuan. After finding him, I told the doctors that they should use the best equipment and the best doctors to perform rescue operations. It doesn't matter how much money they spend. Do you understand? If you don't have enough money, just call me. I will rush over from Nanjing to Chongqing right now. I will arrive tomorrow morning. You will stay at the hospital for me tonight. If anything happens, please contact me at any time. By the way, if you need rescue, if you need signatures from family members, etc., you'll sign them." "Okay, I understand, Mr. Zhang, I'll wait in the car now," Su Yu said. Zhang Chen hung up the phone and immediately transferred 100,000 yuan to Su Yu. The traffic policeman had left at some point without even issuing a ticket. He probably heard the phone call Zhang Chen and the others were making. While Zhang Chen was on the phone, Lu Ligan had already used navigation to set a route from Nanjing to Chongqing. When Zhang Chen hung up the phone, he had already restarted the car. "Now I can only pray that the girl doesn't run away in fear," Lu Ligan said. Zhang Chen's heart moved. He picked up his mobile phone and immediately called Su Yu, asking Su Yu to go to the hotel first to see if an ambulance had arrived. Su Yu said, "Yes, I will go right away, Mr. Zhang." As soon as they got on the highway, Su Yu called and told Zhang Chen that he had rushed to the hotel and didn't see the ambulance. He asked the security guard, who said that an ambulance had just left. "Is it an old man and a girl accompanying him?" Zhang Chen asked. Su Yu took his mobile phone and asked the security guard. The security guard told him that it was right, so Su Yu told Zhang Chen that it was right. "Then just wait there for my call and I will tell you which hospital to go to," Zhang Chen said. Mr. Zhang, would you like me to ask the emergency center? They should know which hospital the patient was taken to, Su Yu said. Just when Zhang Chen wanted to say yes, Lu Ligan shouted, "Stop running around and getting distracted. Just wait for the call. You shouldn't go to a hospital that is far away. It's just nearby." Su Yu said okay. Now that we're in the ambulance, this call will definitely come, Lu Li's good friend Zhang Chen said. God bless us, we met a chicken with 5 eloquences and 4 beauties. The car was driving on the southern line of the inner ring road. Before it reached the Nanjing Yangtze River Tunnel, the girl called and told Lu Ligan the name of the hospital. Lu Ligan said, thank you, you can leave now." Before Lu Ligan hung up the phone, Zhang Chen called out and told Su Yu which hospital to go to. When the car passed Pukao, Su Yu called back and told Zhang Chen that he had found Lu Suanren and the girl, and Lu Suanren had been sent to the ICU for rescue. "Is that girl still there when you arrive?" Lu Ligan asked. "Here, she also advanced 10,000 yuan. I transferred the money to her and she gave me the bill. Now she seems to have left," Lu Suanren said. "I'll go. Not only is she nice, but she's also very honest. Come on, call her and thank her. After this thing is over, Lao Lu deserves to be her loyal customer," Lu Ligan shouted. "Go away, if she sees Lao Lu again, she will probably have a psychological shadow," Zhang Chen said. "Really, if it were me, I would be afraid too," Lu Ligan said, giving up the idea of making a phone call. Going from Nanjing to Chongqing is basically going up the Yangtze River. Zhang Chen and Lu Ligan exceeded the local maximum speed limit of 110 and 120 yards all the way and drove at 156 and 25 yards. Driving at a speed of 6 yards. On the highway, if the speed limit is within 10% of the speed limit, no violation will be dealt with. Even if they are photographed, it will not be considered a violation. They drove at this maximum speed all the way. The two took turns driving, with almost no stops except for entering the service area to refuel and use the toilet. Lu Ligan bought a box of Red Bull drinks and returned to the car. When he was tired, he drank it. When the car arrived in Wuhan, Su Yu called and told Zhang Chen that he was out of danger, but he was not awake yet, and he had to stay in the ICU for continued observation. "I was with him in there." Zhang Chen said, "Yes, thank you for your hard work." At around 8 o'clock in the morning, Zhang Chen and Lu Ligan rushed to the hospital. Old Lu was still in the ICU and was not awake yet. Su Yu had already hired a nurse. He took Zhang Chen and Lu Ligan to find the attending doctor. The doctor told them that they were lucky. Fortunately, they were sent here in time and their lives were saved, but it was hard to say what the reason was now. "We will organize consultations with relevant departments in the morning to rule them out one by one," the doctor said. "By the way, according to my experience, his symptoms are very likely caused by drugs. Do you know if he has been taking anything recently?" "Medicine." Zhang Chen and Lu Ligan both shook their heads. The doctor and Lu Ligan said, "Your father-in-law seems to be in good health. I checked his medical insurance file and found that he has not been to the hospital in recent years and has not bought any medicine, not even cold medicine. Maybe my judgment is wrong. I will wait for a consultation." Bar. Lu Ligan said, "Yes, he is in good health. He has been in good health since my mother-in-law passed away and he should not take any medicine." In fact, Lu Ligan thought about it, but he couldn't tell the doctor. When he thought about Lao Lu, he might often go to a store with pink lights to buy aphrodisiacs of unknown origin. Of course, Lu Ligan had no way to tell the doctor this. Even so, there were many kinds of aphrodisiac drugs, and he didn't know which kind of drug Lao Lu was taking. Lu Ligan thought about it and asked Su Yu, "By the way, did that girl give you a bag?" Yes, there is also a bag of clothes. He came here wearing a hotel bathrobe. They are all in my car. I will bring them to you," Su Yu said. The three of them walked to the parking lot. Suyu took a handbag from the car and a paper bag from the hotel, which contained Lao Liu's clothes, pants, and shoes. Lu Ligan opened his handbag and took a look. It contained Lao Liu's ID card, his previous work permit at the school, a senior teacher's professional qualification certificate, and a wallet. There was nothing in the wallet except Lu Ligan's business card. In the handbag, he did not find any aphrodisiacs that Lu Ligan hoped to find. Zhang Chen asked Suyu to go back and rest. It was none of his business here, and none of their business. He had hired a nurse to take care of him, and the doctor would conduct consultations and examinations step by step. If there was any new situation, he would contact Lu Ligan, his son-in-law, on WeChat. Zhang Chen and Lu Ligan got into the car. Lu Ligan said, "This woman's psychological quality is too strong. Under such circumstances, she actually thought of collecting Lao Liu's clothes and pants and bringing them over. No, I need to call that girl." "Why, you want to be brother-in-law with Lao Lu?" Zhang Chen asked. "Screw you, your thoughts are really dirty. I'll call her and ask her if she has seen old Lu take any aphrodisiacs," Lu Ligan said. He dialed the phone as he spoke, but all he heard were busy signals. Lu Ligan sighed and put down his phone. He said to Zhang Chen, "You can call Lu Yun now. Why don't you fight?" Lu Ligan smiled and said, "You are more deceptive than me. She will believe whatever you say. Just start making it up." "Screw you." Zhang Chen cursed, but still picked up the phone and dialed. "Zhang Chen, why are you calling me so early?" Lu Yun asked on the other end of the phone. "Lu Yun, Ganzi and I are in Chongqing." "Why did you go to Chongqing? Didn't you say you were going to Nanjing?" Lu Yun was confused. "Yes, we went to Nanjing. Last night, we drove from Nanjing to Chongqing and are now in the hospital." "In the hospital? What are you doing in the hospital?" Lu Yun asked. "Your father is in the hospital, Lu Yun. Your father fainted while dancing in the square yesterday and was sent to the hospital. The doctor found a Pole's business card from his body and called Pole. We rushed right away. Come here, your father is still under observation in the ICU, don't worry, although he is still unconscious, he is out of danger." Lu Yun was stunned on the other end of the phone. She asked, "Zhang Chen, why didn't you call me last night? What's the use of taking a shot last night? You can't come and you have to worry all night. Anyway, we have already arrived. There was someone here with us last night. He will tell us at any time if there is any situation," Zhang Chen said. "Thank you, Zhang Chen. I'll buy a ticket and come over right now. You can send me the address of the hospital," Lu Yun said. Zhang Chen said yes. After hanging up the phone, Zhang Chen immediately made another call to Xiao Fang. Over there, Lu Ligan also called Tan Shahen. His statement was the same as what Zhang Chen had just said to Lu Yun. This was considered a consensus. They rushed to the hospital in the afternoon, but Lao Lu still didn't wake up. The result of the consultation did not find the specific cause. The doctor told Lu Ligan. Although no specific cause was found, other doctors agreed with my judgment and said that it was very much like a drug reaction. I would do dialysis first and then have a consultation tomorrow. Lu Ligan said yes, it doesn't matter if you hire the best doctors and experts and consult 10 times a day. While they were talking, Lu Yun and Xiao Fang arrived. "Thank you for your monthly pass for not seeing a future but only remembering your original intention, being a villain among villains, and reading in a civilized manner. Thanks for all the votes and reading. Have a good evening everyone." The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Shi Niang. Chapter 2281. That's your husband, right? I told him the details. The doctor told Lu Yun that Lu Yun's face flushed slightly, but she didn't say anything. She didn't know who, Zhang Chen or Lu Ligan, pretended to be her husband in the hospital this time. When the patient was first brought here, he was short of breath and in a coma. The situation was indeed dangerous. After rescue, he was out of danger. His cardiopulmonary function is now normal. After a brain CT scan, no abnormalities were found. The results of the consultation still tend to be drug reactions, and I hope you can provide us with more detailed information. The doctor continued to talk to Lu Yun, who was also in a dilemma. She said, "I have never been in Chongqing. I don't know what medicine he is taking. I haven't heard him talk about it when I talk on the phone." "That's right, I checked his medical insurance card information here and couldn't find it. So, can you go home and look for it? Since you are taking medicine, there will always be medicine boxes and bottles left at home. Put these once the information is provided to us, it will be easier for us to judge and formulate a treatment plan," the doctor said. The four of them were transferred to the intensive care unit. Lao Lu still didn't wake up, but he looked good and rosy. He was lying there with a tube inserted, but his expression was peaceful, as if he was asleep. Lu Yun looked at it and felt slightly relieved. The four of them drove to the place where Lao Lu lived. No one said anything along the way. Zhang Chen and Lu Ligan deliberately avoided the situation of Lao Liu's illness yesterday. Lu Yun did not ask in detail. They had not lived together for a long time, and their father's daily life is a blank for her, and it is the same for the four people in the car. She can't even ask why. Lao Lu, who was lying in the intensive care unit, lived on two parallel lines with them, without any intersection. For Lu Yun, her understanding of him was not even as good as that of one of her own employees. Every time she spoke on the phone when it comes to her father's personal life and physical condition, he always dismisses her with just 4 words, "Ba she is very good." Regarding her father, all Lu Yun could know was that, firstly, she did not want to leave Chongqing, and secondly, he was very comfortable. Other than that, there was nothing else she could know about her father. Apart from giving him a sum of money every once in a while, she had nothing else to do. Know what else you can do? Every time Lu Yun sends money to her father, the amount is 2 to 300,000. When her father receives the money, he will send her a WeChat message saying that the money has been received and nothing more. After a year, Lu Yun will probably have to send him a payment. More than 1 million, Lu Yun was sure that this money would be more than enough for her father to live comfortably in Chongqing. But her father would never say enough to Lu Yun and ask her to stop beating her. Lu Yun understood this to mean that older people should watch the money in their bank books increase rather than decrease. You will have a sense of security and feel that you have someone to rely on in your old age. To Lu Yun, this money was just a small sum. She would not ask her father how he spent the money and how much was left. Originally, she would have given more money for peace of mind, but Xiaofang reminded her that you had given too much. Aren't you afraid that teacher Lu will develop an appetite while playing mahjong and eventually become a gambler? The money is enough for him to treat people to hot pot and tea every day. Lu Yun thought Xiaofang's words made sense and didn't fight anymore. Anyway, his father never said it was enough. In addition to the money Lu Yun gave him, he also had a monthly pension and money to rent out his old house. He just paid for it every day. It is enough for people to eat hot pot and drink tea. Lao Lu has moved from his original place to a new house in Jifangbei. The four of them took the elevator upstairs. Lu Yun found the key from her bag and opened the door. Although Lao Lu lived alone, the room was tidy. Very neat. Lao Lu has always been a very clean person, and after being alone, he needs to be even more clean. Seeing that the room was spotless and everything was tidied up, Lu Yun felt relieved again. It meant that her father was usually in good health and was not incapable of moving. Yesterday's illness was probably an accident. Just like the doctor said, it was probably I took some medicine that I shouldn't have taken. I took the wrong medicine. You guys sit down. Lu Yun turned on the air conditioner and said to Zhang Chen and the others, "I'll go look for it." Zhang Chen and Lu Ligan sat down on the sofa in the living room. Xiao Fang went to the refrigerator in the kitchen, opened the door, and saw bottled water inside. She took the water back and put it in front of Zhang Chen and Lu Ligan. The house has 3 bedrooms and 1 living room. The smallest room is empty and has a bed in it. When Lu Yun comes back to spend the spring festival with her father every year, this room will be cleared out for Lu Yun to sleep. After Lu Yun leaves, this room has always been empty. Even the quilt on the bed was rolled into a roll, revealing a bare Simmons, and the sheets, quilt covers, etc. had all been washed away. Lao Lu usually rarely enters this room, let alone leaves anything here. Lu Yun walked in and walked around before coming out. Lu Yun then went to the study. Lu Yun rarely went into the study even when she came back every year. It was very unfamiliar to her. Lu Yun saw that the books on the bookshelf were neatly arranged. Lu Yun put her fingers on the spines of the books and scratched them row by row. She felt a little sad. She saw that half of the books on the bookshelf were bought by her. When she bought these books, she was still in junior high school, and every book was saved by her mouth. There are frames on the bookshelf, which contain photos of Lu Yun from various periods, as well as photos of her father from various periods, but there is no photo of her mother. There is one photo that Lu Yun remembers is clearly a group photo of 3 people, but it is her mother's. Part of it was folded over and hidden behind, and only the parts of Lu Yun and her father could be seen. Lu Yun sighed. The traces of her mother had been erased by her father. It seemed that she had never existed in this study and in this home. There was a computer and a stack of square manuscript paper on the desk. Lu Yun took a look at it. It was a memoir that his father was writing. The book was called My 38th Spring and Autumn Period, and it was about his life since the first day as a Lu Yun vaguely remembered that her father had told her about this book, which was many years ago. At that time, Lu Yun encouraged her father and said, "Okay, after you finish writing, I will help you find a place to publish it." My father was very happy when he heard it, but the book has not been finished to this day. My father knows how to use a computer and type, but he still likes to use a pen to write on 320-word grid paper. My father's handwriting is very beautiful, and he must be very proud when he writes. Lu Yun opened the drawer of the desk to take a look, and then opened the cabinet under the bookshelf to take a look. The inside was also neatly packed. In the drawer in the middle of the desk, there was a dark red cloth bag. Lu Yun opened it, and inside it was 7 items used by her father. 8 old pens were tied together with rubber bands and wrapped in cloth. Lu Yun wrapped them back and put them away. In the cabinet under the bookcase, Lu Yun saw 2 large photo albums. She opened them and saw that some photos had been taken away. The black cardboard where the photos were originally placed was newer than the ones on the side. Lu Yun was stunned for a moment, and then understand, these empty seats should originally contain photos of my mother, or a group photo of my mother. Lu Yun shook her head and sighed again. She put the photo album back and closed the cabinet door. The medicine box or medicine bottle that the doctor asked Lu Yun to find was not found in the study. Lu Yun walked out and went to her father's bedroom. In the bedroom, the quilt on the bed was neatly folded. The folded quilt was placed at the head of the bed, and the pillow was pressed on top of the quilt. The sheets had been dusted with hands, and there were no wrinkles at all. On the bedside table, except for a teacup and an alarm clock, also empty. Lu Yun opened the closet and saw a bulging vest bag inside. Lu Yun opened the bag and looked at it, and couldn't help but exclaimed, "Ah!" The 3 people sitting outside were startled when they heard Lu Yun's exclamation. They stood up reflexively. Xiao Fang was the first to react. She asked, "What's wrong, Sister Lu Yun?" Xiao Fang ran over, Lu Ligan and Zhang Chen also walked over, and when they walked to the bedroom door, they saw a vest bag on the bed, and Lu Yun was staring at the bag in a daze. Xiao Fang went in and was stunned at first glance. Lu Yun saw Zhang Chen and Lu Ligan appearing at the door and hurried over. Lu Yun's face was red and she said to them shyly. Get out, don't come in. Zhang Chen and Lu Ligan already understood something in their hearts. They retreated, sat down on the sofa again, and looked at each other. Lu Ligan whispered. Lao Liu's image collapsed. Zhang Chen glared at him and said, It wasn't you who did it? You are really good at talking nonsense, Lu Ligan said. I gave him a fulfilling old age. Hey, have you forgotten why we came here last time? If I don't help him, his turbulent heart will be at peace. This is human nature, you know? Realistically, I just provided him with a safer and hygienic environment. Are you in the intensive care unit safely? Zhang Chen sneered. The two people outside were bickering softly, and the two people in the bedroom were also talking in Chongqing dialect. After a while, Lu Yun and Xiaofang came out. Lu Yun was still blushing, and Xiaofang his face was also flushed. The two of them also sat down on the sofa, neither saying a word. Lu Yun lowered her head and turned slightly to one side, as if she was avoiding something. Xiaofang looked at Zhang Chen and frowned. None of the four people spoke, but they were thinking about the same thing. Finally, Xiaofang broke the silence. She said to Lu Yun. Sister Lu Yun, I think it's better to take it to the doctor. This will play a key role in treating uncle's disease. Lu Yun sat there motionless, neither saying yes nor saying no. Xiaofang waited for a while and said to Zhang Chen. Go and take a look, it's in the bag on the bed. Zhang Chen looked at Lu Yun. Lu Yun was sitting there without saying a word, which meant she had no objection. Zhang Chen and Lu Ligan walked into the bedroom. The vest bag on the bed had been tied tightly. Zhang Chen opened the bag and the secrets inside the bag were clearly visible. It's either Black King Kong or Yeding Tian, as well as Iwei Iding, Golden Dragon Whip, Warwolf Viagra, etc., and all of them are printed with English and Japanese characters, and you can't understand them. It doesn't matter, the picture above will tell you what it is. From oral pills to various sacred oils, there is a dazzling array of them. Zhang Chen and Lu Ligan were stunned when they saw it. Zhang Chen tied the mouth of the bag tightly again and carried the bag out. Lu Yun turned her head away, even her neck turned red. Zhang Chen and Xiaofang said. You stay here with Lu Yun, while Zanzi and I go to the hospital. Xiaofang said yes. The two people walked to the door and heard Lu Yun muttering behind them, what a humming shame. Thank you Brokeback Mountain for the reward of 2 fishes. Thank you Hu Hu, Daos Hung 123, Nan Ke Yiman 79, Zhon Kai 727, and Book Friends 2017080309172865 for your monthly votes. Thanks for all the votes and reading. I wish you all good health.